Welcome back to Podcast Recovery, everyone. We're your hosts, David O.
I suppose I'm a host, but I'm really the producer of the show, David.
You wear many hats. Physically and metaphorically. You wear many hats
when we're, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll move forward.
My co-host / boss / producer Eric is joining us, and today we're joined by a very special guest, my good friend Eli. How are you doing today, man?
I'm having a great day.
Yeah.
I've been up for about 30 minutes.
Perfect. You're getting your Red Bull in.
Got my Red Bull in.
There you go.
Fall is beginning.
Yeah. We have a shitty storm right now, and luckily
it's kind of cool out there, though. I mean, you guys had to drive here, so I don't know. That probably sucked.
Oh, dude, there was a tree down on South Rolling, and I was at the light because it was covering both sides of my side of the street, so you had to cross over into oncoming traffic, and it was right over the hill where the light was at Valley Road, right by
right where the club is.
And dude, they had a red light, and I had my hand out the window trying to slow this guy down because I was like, dude, because you couldn't see the tree from where he was, and it was this fucking asshole in a Ford Mustang, and I was like, don't speed, and as soon as it turns green, he starts speeding off, and I'm like, all right, I just hear, and I was like, oh, you almost died.
That intersection of Valley and South Rolling is terrifying.
Yep. Oh, sorry. Total digression. Where are you from, Eli?
I grew up in Tacoma Park, Maryland.
Okay, that tracks.
So
makes so much sense
or
now.
PG?
That's Moco.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're rich, aren't you?
Tacoma Park's not rich.
Yeah, that's
no offense.
It's
I'm
becoming
sorry.
rich.
Yeah, it's getting there. They're gentrifying.
All right,
the
so
shit out of
you're
it.
new money.
Your new money. Nouveau riche.
Not really.
Nouveau riche is what they say in France. When were you first introduced to recovery?
So, I first went to treatment when I was 18 in 2019.
Dope.
And they did H&I meetings in this treatment center.
Mm-hmm.
And
what treatment center?
Yeah, which one?
it was Ashley.
Oh,
Speaking of being
alumni, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was a fucking absolute mess. And I remember specifically after the first H&I, making a deal with my therapist.
Therapist. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I'll do everything, but I'm not going to the fucking meetings at the end of the day.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
All right.
Yeah.
And that worked out great.
Did you go to the meetings though? Did you sit in the hall and go, listen to the H&I meetings?
No, I went to one and then I went to sleep.
Oh, nice. I would have taken sleep too, man. I don't blame you now.
Yeah. And how long have you been clean?
2 years now.
2 years.
Congratulations.
Fantastic. All right. And with all that out of the way, I'm going to turn it over to you to share your story with us. So take it away, brother.
Sure. So like I said, I went to treatment when I was 18, and I think the first time that I used a drug was 15 or 16. So
it got bad quick.
Yeah, it only took me 2 or 3 years to just fuck my entire life into the ground.
Nice.
Yeah. So, a lot of it revolved around the usual social pressures. I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I had academic and social pressures that I felt, and being high on a lot of Adderall or Xanax made that just way more fun and tolerable.
Yeah, you're a totally different it's a whole new generation. Because so Eric and I are in our mid 30s, and you're 22.
Right.
So we're the opiate generation, and we had Ritalin, and then your generation is very much Adderall.
No, this guy is crazy, dude. You didn't go to farm parties? You lived in fucking Colombia.
No, I did not go to farm parties.
Do
you know what a farm party is?
I don't know what a farm party is.
Eric, explain.
So a farm party is not a field party where you're in a
PHA.
It's a PH. So you go into your parents shit and or your uncle's shit. You find some good shit and you all come together and you're okay, I got some Zolpidem, I got some Adderall, maybe some Concerta, here's some Oxy, and then you all just get fucked up together. You bring it together.
You just take a whole. You just
wait. Whoa.
You get a whole bunch of pills and you throw them in a fishbowl, and everybody just. Has
Why are you sharing?
Because it's a farm party.
That's a good point.
This is a different time. You're still kind of you haven't gotten to that point, right?
Right. Yeah.
This is you're still learning about cocktails. So
good lord. terrible. Don't do drugs,
I'm a
people.
terrible influence.
But yeah, we're all the medical drug generation. So anyway, you're in high school, you doing Adderall.
I mean, yeah, a lot of Adderall.
And Xanax.
And less Xanax, but some. And I mean, like smoking weed every day. Dude, when they came out with those dab cartridges, or at least they reached my school, like where you could just vape weed.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the Juul pod thing, but for like weed.
Yeah.
I got clean before like dabs was a thing, which I'm really glad because it would have been, but I don't know. Like I had people at work who were like, oh yeah, like they'd show me like YouTube videos of like how to do dabs, and I'm like, that is so extra. Like why the it's
theoretically healthier. Like,
it's over the fucking top. You don't need to do all that shit.
Like certain. Well, like medically.
I was making a foil bowl and I was high before you even had your shit fucking before you even had your shit lit.
I mean, I did my fair share of foil bowling.
Oh yeah.
But
that shit
like
is sport.
when that shit came out, it was like and I was the same way with the nicotine vapes too. It's like now I can do it all the time, no matter where I'm at.
What's up with that? So like you're 20, you said you're 22, right?
Right.
So you're a Juul generation, man, right?
Yep.
Like you are the Juul generation.
Yeah, the young kids, they're not smoking analog cigarettes anymore.
Yeah,
Analog cigarettes.
Yeah, it's all the
Like-
digital cigarettes.
Like we used to have, like, I mean, when we were growing up, we had you remember the Camel tins, David? Like the
What?
like the gin and tonic flavored cigarettes and like stuff like
Ew!
that. From Camel.
No. What the fuck is that?
No, Camel with a K. You remember those?
No.
Like all that. You don't remember Camel with a K?
No, and it screams racism.
What, Camel with a K?
I don't know.
Camel
That just
Reds?
sounds
Oh,
wrong.
you're so.
Oh,
dude.
Camel Reds.
You're
Okay.
so.
No,
you
I know what you're talking
exactly
about.
what I'm
Now
talking
I do.
about.
Yeah, once you said Camel Reds, I know what
You
you're talking
fool. Those
So-
are great cigarettes.
This is actually fantastic because I vaped before I smoked cigarettes.
Exactly.
That's fucking
Yeah.
weird, dude.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yep.
So wait, you had a vape before you So have you had a cigarette, right?
Yeah, I actually quit about a year ago.
Great.
for you.
That's awesome, dude.
Good for you.
How are you doing, David?
Fuck you, Eric. So you're in high school. Keep going.
Yeah.
Pressures, all that.
I'm in high school. I take Adderall one day, and I'm like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to feel like this all the time, and I made it my mission. I was still, young, naive, and delusional, and completely unaware that the disease of addiction was a thing.
Yeah. Did you have to go through the DARE program?
No.
Dare was
Okay.
dead by that
Okay,
point.
DARE's dead. Okay. Keep going.
The dare is dead.
Do you know what DARE is?
Yeah, I mean, it still exists, right? Like,
I guess. I don't know.
I see
mean,
dare
does it?
people.
Okay. I don't know. Look it up, Eric. Eric's going to Google that. Keep going.
So I talked to my psychiatrist,
Mm-hmm.
and I managed to get a Vyvanse and an Adderall prescription.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, together?
Yeah, to treat depression. I was like, I literally told her, I was like, hey,
on, dude.
so I tried Adderall at school and it made me feel like really good. Could we try it as a treatment for my depression? And she was like, yeah, sure. And then like that script never lasted me the entire length of the thing.
No.
It got to a point where I was doing like very large amounts of like prescription stimulants and not literally like my tolerance was too high to actually feel fucked up. And then, when that happens and you run out of them,
Spiral.
yeah, fucks you up pretty bad. So that's when I've, had my first like
Wait, I have a question. So I know Adderall was not my thing ever. I don't think I ever did Adderall. What's like the come down from that?
It's fine.
It's fine, or is it like this sucks
like,
ass?
No, like if you're doing it like once a day, it's okay. But if you build up, it sucks ass. It can be pretty bad.
'Cause
And,
it's a
there can be
benzo, right?
No, it's a stimulant.
Oh, it's not a benzo?
it's an amphetamine.
Yeah.
Oh, Adderall's just straight into amphetamine?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh, when we're fucking prescribing this shit?
Yeah,
what
dude.
a fucked up country.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
lord.
Hey, the housewives need to
So it's
like,
basically
50
Requiem,
stuff,
just
dude. Yeah, it's the
oh,
50.
good
Like
lord.
it's
The diet
they just
pills.
change the different. No, diet pills are totally different and something totally fucked up. Like way worse. Like I don't know if it's worse, but like some of the diet pill stuff, man, is like.
Oh yeah, because that's like ephedrine
crazy.
and shit like that.
Like, yeah, I mean, So, and like I don't know, you remember like Phenibut or like or not Phenibut, like the Pheny Barb or my uncle took it in the 90s and like people died on that shit.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Okay, so you get prescribed.
Never take diet pills.
Also,
I took
don't
one
take diet pills.
It, like,
I'm pretty sure.
awful, dude.
No, I can't say that.
Can I digress real quick? You ever taken one of those boner pills, like the gas station boner pills?
No.
I was in rehab once.
Neither have I.
And this guy came up to me and said, "Hey, like, I got this boner pill for this like night with this girl. Like, I'm so excited." And then the next day he was
rehab.
Well, it was outpatient at this point.
Oh, okay.
And he the next day he reported to me that all he had was a headache and no boner.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
Did the rhino penis like
the rhino horn? Yeah.
Work?
Yeah, I guess he.
One time, yeah, dude at a gas station like gave me one. He was like, "Dude, have you ever had like?" Because I was just looking at him, and he was like, "You ever used one of those?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Dude, you gotta try it." He was like, "As soon as you get like you start like feeling like you have a headache, then you're good to go." And I was like,
"What?"
So,
no, dude.
I mean, like, dude, it just makes your heart race, and you have a fucking headache, and you're like, I mean, I kind of want to have sex a little bit more, but like, it's gross.
Do I?
Yeah,
it's gross. Anyway, so.
Well, now that we're on libido increasing medications.
Oh God!
Ooh,
back to Adderall.
Back to Adderall. Reel it back in.
Reel it back into. Yeah, I mean that shit makes you super horny.
Really?
And
did you do chemsex? Have you like if you're an amphetamines person?
What?
Do you know what that is?
You got all these terms, man.
Dude, he is a super nerd when it comes to drugs.
Hit me with the term.
So
what is
chemsex is
chemsex?
like it's mainly like a few different types of drugs. I came across it like the other day. Like I'd never heard of it before.
You saw this on Reddit, didn't you?
Yeah, dude. I follow weird shit on Reddit.
I fucking love. Dude, I've been hitting Reddit so hard recently.
I love Reddit.
Like, love it.
Like Hold My Cosmo, I think is my like new favorite subreddit.
Anyway, what's chemsex? What are you talking about?
So it's like
here?
certain drugs, right? Certain like party drugs, and like some of them are crazy. Like, but methamphetamine's one, and then like another one is like what was that thing like 10 to 12 years ago, like 3MCs. You remember that, David?
Yes.
Like, that shit, like that bath salt, like cat, like chat stuff, like.
Oh,
but it's
God.
like a big like party drug thing with like upper.
So it's having sex on Molly, essentially.
Certain things,
Essentially.
but very specific drugs.
That's
like,
fucking weird.
And having like extended like crazy long sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Adderall.
never come.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult.
No.
It's
Yeah.
amazing, but you're so horny the whole time.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just- it's
Cocaine
just like-
does the same thing.
Yeah. But I didn't really have anyone to have sex with for a lot of the time, so it was just like a solo session.
Rubbing your dick raw.
Dude,
I like how you led with that,
prolific.
though, right? Like, you're like, you get really horny, but like,
But there's no chicks around. Yeah.
I mean, eventually, I found some people that were sick enough that would want to like have sex with me. And there was this, I met this girl obviously through drugs. At one point, I sold her a fruit snack as a weed gummy. That was great.
You guys
savage.
get away with stuff
That's
that like
amazing.
we couldn't get away with. That's
like, amazing.
We would sell like oregano.
Yeah,
and,
back
like,
in my
some,
day, it was selling
you know,
oregano for weed. Now it's
what's
like,
that,
here,
like, sage-
you want some Haribos?
Sage Dijon.
Got some Haribo gummy bears?
It was
Dude,
a-
they're 30 milligrams a piece.
Welch's
my goodness.
strawberry, actually.
I can taste the weed.
We sold her an actual 100 milligram gummy with it, though.
Well, okay.
So we were like, you need the booster. We were terrible people.
Yes.
Anyways, so now she's my girlfriend, and she has an Adderall prescription that she doesn't take, which is just like,
Yeah. This
What
is a
are you
match made in
doing?
heaven.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a girlfriend like that.
yeah, it's amazing.
Keep 'em.
Yeah. So, and she also had a benzo habit.
Ooh.
So, and a bunch of weed, and I had like no money or
Sorry, were we dating the same
self-worth.
person? Like what? Like,
I mean,
I hope not. You're 10
yeah,
years older than
yeah,
now.
that would be.
my girlfriend 10 years ago, like it was like,
Yeah.
it was like, no, the benzo, it was like the Ambien, and then like her mom had the benzo, her brother had like the Adderall.
Jesus
Both of
Christ.
her brothers sold weed. It was like,
Yep.
this is great.
Yeah, I mean, I think she just had the Adderall prescription, and she would get these like weird, like dark web research chemical benzos called like
Oh, fuck that, dude.
it was some you know how a lot of them end in like Pam or like
Yeah.
Lamb or
you know how
something.
many
Yeah.
there are, right? There's hundreds of them.
I think
Yeah,
they were.
diazepam,
She called them
shit like that.
Altizalams or something. which
They have crazy half-lives too. Like they can last like days.
yeah.
That's scary, dude.
Yeah.
Did you take? You have any bad reactions?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, he's here.
I'm here.
Well, I mean, I'm talking like I went down that path with the weird benzos too, and like I got like weird hives and stuff like that with like
It
taking,
can give
like,
you like seizures and shit. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's fucking with your brain chemistry.
I mean, really, I'm lucky. Like, they could have just put fentanyl in one of those
the
things, and I
research
bought fake
chemicals are
bars. Like,
scary.
the fact that I am not dead is pretty surprising.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have the press problem too, man.
Right.
Yeah. That's a whole thing.
And the one time that I know I did fentanyl because I went to rehab shortly after, and they did blood work. It was Molly.
Yo, yeah.
And I was like, why am I so tired off the Molly? And like, I went to sleep alone, like in my room. Like, I totally could have just not woken up. I wasn't an opiate user. Like, it could have just been over so easily.
So you're in high school. You finally find girls.
I had girls. Okay.
There were girls.
There were girls. They existed. Yeah. I mean, at this point, at the point where like I have this girlfriend and I graduate high school. At one point I went to this like alternative school and then I went back. Like it was a whole mess. My grades obviously started.
What kind of alternative school? Music school?
No, it was like a school for people that are fucked in the head.
Oh,
David.
okay. I thought because he said he graduated. I thought he was like, oh, okay. He went to like, I don't know, like a trade school or something.
No, it was.
So during high school, you went to an alternative school. Okay.
I think it was my late junior year, which means like I'd tried drugs like not very long ago, and I'm already like, that was
That's fast, dude.
Yeah, it was like a insanely quick progression. It went from like trying it once to like I'm gonna do this every day all the time. And like I was really bad at that, and it's kind of crazy. Like, anyways, I went to this school. It's called Newport Academy. A lot of the people that were there just had mental health problems or stuff, which like I think that it was
dealing with trauma, shitty house. Yeah,
exactly. And I think honestly, it was really beneficial for them to have this like community and to do school.
Oh yeah,
like,
I think every county has one like that where they're like, you kind of got suspended or whatever from your quote unquote normal school, and now which is really it's got to. When you think about it, you're like, oh, we're going to take all the bad kids and put them together in the same high school. Like, how is that a fucking good idea?
Well, this was a private one.
Oh.
This is like, so it was uppity in Montgomery County.
I forgot. Yeah.
Okay.
In Rock.
Oh, so it's the Newport Academy.
Yes,
like,
the Newport.
with the pinky up.
And I think they probably were helping people, but I am an addict. And that...
Fuck those people.
I was like, I remember drinking my mom's cooking wine and throwing it up in the trash can, like trying to get something in my system before I had to run out the door. And I was like, it was gross.
That made my mouth water.
Yeah. Of course, the first day I went to Newport Academy, I was on Adderall, and I was like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, this place is awesome.
Just like everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Everything's cool when you're part of a team.
Hell yes.
Geez. Yeah, so that was my first introduction to police car rides because you weren't allowed to leave.
Wait, what do you mean by like they transported you, the cops?
Well, if you walked out of the building during school hours, then they called the police on you. And I got arrested at the metro station because I was a mess. And I don't know, honestly, what I was trying to achieve was like chaos. Like I didn't have anywhere to go.
17?
Yeah, 16, 17.
Wow.
That's so fucking aggressive, dude.
Yeah. Did you try and run from the cop or anything?
No, I mean, my goal was to just make a big scene.
Oh.
So I just went to the metro and then got handcuffed, I think. And
that's upsetting, dude. Like
I was the best arrest ever for every cop because I was super cooperative. They're like, do you have weed on you? I was like, yep, right pocket. They were like,
Yeah.
you just really that easy? I was like, listen, if you told me you smelled it in my car, I know I'm already fucked. You're just you're gonna call the dogs. It's gonna be a whole rigmarole. I'm gonna waste your time. You're gonna waste my time. Let's get this over with. Yes, I have weed. It's not a lot. I don't have any guns, no bombs, no nothing. There's nobody in my trunk. Let's go.
Right.
And they were like, okay.
Yep.
But one time I got pulled over in PG County. And this huge black cop, and the dude was diesel, like 6'4", just jacked as shit. And I have my hands on the hood, and like he's about to like pat me down for everything, and he's just like, "Don't try anything." And I just busted out laughing. I was like, "Are you fucking serious, dude?" I was like, "You will kill me." And he was like, "Dude, I just have to say that shit." I was like, "All right, do what you got to do." I was like, "We're cool." He was like, "All right, good."
They have their scripts.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I was always super cooperative with the police too. Like,
why make it worse?
I know. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And honestly, usually when I was getting the psychiatric arrest, when I got arrested, like I got what I wanted. Like I had like caused enough like chaos and pain in the life of like the people who loved me and cared about me, and now I was gonna go away to maybe a psych ward where they give you pills, and that was fine. Yeah. So.
All right, so graduation. You graduate high school.
I do graduate high school, and I've gotten into college.
Okay.
What college?
Rochester Institute of Tech.
Okay.
For engineering.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I did amazing.
I mean,
in
you
high
were
school,
blasting
up until-
Adderall. I'm sure your grades were amazing.
So they were for the first year, but then senior year, I basically didn't go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is just, yeah.
That's Rick's a really good school, man. That's like.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. One, I mean, throughout the majority of my school career, like I had a stable living environment, and my parents are college educated, and they cared about school, and they instilled that in me, and like I did good.
Yeah.
And then also, my mom hired this like college like advisor person to help me like write my essay and do applications and stuff, and she like knew all the
tricks.
all the tricks. So, got into school and I said, "Hey, I'm going to take a gap year."
Always a solid decision.
Right, because drugs are here and I don't know where they are there.
I think like 1 in 10 of those gap years is successful.
I failed hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I went to HCC, but I went straight in and I was like, "Oh, this is terrible. I don't want to do this." And then I was like, I'll just take a break for a little while. And then
Mine was HCC. I was like, cocaine's so much cooler, and I like a lot more than this place. And then like I just stopped going. Yeah. And then I got arrested, and my parents were like, "You're going back to fucking school." And I'm like, "I guess I am."
Yeah.
All right.
So you're at RIP.
No.
Oh no, you took a gap year. Gap year.
And I just used drugs in my mom's basement. She had no fucking clue what to do. Mm-hmm. At one point, I briefly worked. I'm doing air quotes right now.
Yeah.
For my dad, he has like a construction company, and basically what that meant is I just did little errands, and he gave me some money for it.
Yeah, you got money for drugs.
What type of construction?
I mean, he's a general contractor. Really, he's an architect as well. Mostly residential stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, rad.
Rarely ground up residential buildings. Usually it's renovations or
Gotcha.
after a fire or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
It's a very specific type of architect.
Yeah.
After a fire.
I mean, I think that's just one. He really did a lot of different.
I'm a post-arson engineer.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to our conference in 2024 this year. What are you talking about?
I see all 12 of us have arrived.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Stan, are you ready?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. So, and then eventually, that became too hard. I mean, I was I couldn't do anything without drugs. Even when I got drugs, it usually wasn't enough, and I just wanted to play video games and die.
Yeah.
What video games?
Rainbow Six Siege only.
What? What?
Very
really?
specific.
Rainbow Six Siege?
Exclusively.
Why? I'm curious why. I've never been a Rainbow Six person, so I'm very curious.
I remember the
It's
original
a
Rainbow
fantastic
Six.
game.
Yeah.
And if I remember, it's strategy kind of with...
Yeah, it's strategy SWAT.
You're controlling multiple units, right?
So, no. It's a first-person shooter. However,
so that game
So it's
changed.
changed.
Yeah.
I remember it was like a third-person shooter.
oh, I mean, I think there's multiple Rainbow Six games.
Oh no, there's
Okay,
tons
okay.
of Rainbow Six.
right,
games, yeah.
right.
Okay, so Siege.
Yeah, first-person shooter, destructible environment. So it's part of the environment. Is part of
Okay.
it. One-shot headshots, no matter what.
Duh.
Low, like
People are
quick
throwing
time
the
to kill.
computers out the window.
Nice.
Like high recoil. Operator. So there's
So just
different-
way more like realism to it.
Yeah, but it's not like super like there's like
It's still a video
magic
game.
basically,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Like but it's so much fun, and I had to sell my Xbox because I can't do it.
I get it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
Good.
There's some games you just can't put down.
Yeah.
So you're in the basement, Rainbow Six.
Playing Rainbow Six Siege, being sad with this girl who I would like see, and then I would steal her Adderall, and then she wouldn't hear from me for a few days because I had Adderall, and then she would hear from me again when I ran out of Adderall.
Nice.
And one day I took some. I remember it. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any drugs. I hit up everyone in my contact list, and I
Yep.
said, whoever responds first, like, gets my money.
Yeah.
Maybe I had like $40 or something somehow. Who the fuck knows? I probably stole it. I definitely stole it. There's no other way that I would get money. And this guy replied. I picked up some pressed Xanax pills.
Oh, dude.
And I took them, and I thought I went to sleep. Turns out I did not went to sleep. I went to driving around.
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
you went to blackout.
I went to blackout.
So you crashed your car.
I did not crash my car. Thank
Ooh.
God.
So
I had a 2016 Subaru WRX. It was fucking.
Good lord.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man.
You were zipping.
I was zipping. I used
Zipping
to.
and zooted.
Okay, quick side note because it's important to my story. I feel.
Yes.
Like. I used to. It would be late at night. I'm high as fuck on Adderall because I'm like a night crawler now, and I would do loops around the Beltway
What?
in my WRX and like weave
What?
traffic and go like
that
130
person?
miles
Fuck
an hour.
you.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
fucking hate you.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Wait. Which beltway? The
Both
the DC
beltways?
beltway or the
The
Baltimore?
DC Beltway.
Oh God, you're a savage. Oh God, you are an
They're
absolute
both
savage.
fucking assholes, dude. Like when I would come back from Philly,
Dude, I will-
like,
I
and
will
it's like,
take
oh my god, I'm in
Baltimore's-
Baltimore now. Like,
No,
it's like,
I will take Baltimore's beltway
They're
over
both bad,
Washington's
dude.
any day.
They're both bad.
Yeah.
Oh, Washington's beltway is the fucking worst.
It's
Yeah.
taken me 3 hours to get to White Marsh before.
So what, like 495?
Yeah, 495. I would
Wait,
loop 495.
Oh fuck
dude,
that.
that's terrifying.
That's
That's like, because that's way more curvy than
Yeah, it's
695.
super
Oh, yeah.
curvy.
You know, like,
Yeah.
especially around Bethesda, you're like, bro.
Exactly. Yep. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. There wasn't a ton of. I mean, I did it during the day too. Yeah, I was I could have killed
So you're an
someone
aggressive
and or
driver.
myself.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
That's good. That's Did you like ever cause an accident? Do you think?
I hit a guardrail in the Subaru.
Ooh.
No one was injured, and it was body damage.
Okay.
And
Well, by like cutting people off or anything.
No,
Do you think
never.
you ever. Okay.
I never got in an accident at high speed. Maybe 25 miles an hour is the fastest like
Okay, that's
collision
good.
I've been in.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, by some sort of miracle.
Yep.
Aggressive driving's so scary. Like,
Yeah, and I mean that was my personality. I was like, I'm the guy that has this fast car and stays up late at night and drives around the Beltway.
did you drag race?
No,
So you just
I didn't
did
have any
this
friends.
by yourself?
Yeah, it was by myself. Yeah, pretty crazy.
That's epic.
Yeah, I wasn't like I wouldn't roll up with like the crew of like car people. No, it was,
Yeah, you didn't have like glow lights underneath your WRX.
Vin
Don't tell
Diesel's
me you
not
did.
like rolling by.
no, it was just
all
me
about
alone.
family.
I would look for people to race, but like a WRX is like
Were they
yeah,
looking at you
it's-
though to race? Like,
No.
Or were you just in your head like, I'm gonna race you?
I mean, some of them were definitely like tuner cars, and like but they would all destroy me because it was
Yeah.
a basically
just a stock
WRX, and like to a Honda Civic that's like a little
Yeah.
bit faster, but to
Yeah.
like any sort of legitimate performance car, it's not.
God, I love
Okay.
Honda Civics.
So that's an important part of your story.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So I drove around blacked out. I know because my friend who I met up, I guess I texted him. I said, hey, you want to smoke weed? Mm-hmm. I guess maybe he had weed, and I guess showed up basically incoherent to this park, and I was like saying I was gonna kill myself and doing all this stuff, and then I like drove away. Apparently, like that's all that I know that happened. Yes. Who knows what went down that night? But I woke up in my bed, and I found that information out on my way to go smoke weed again with the same person. He was like, "Yo, like, are you good?" I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I mean, I just woke up, but I'm fine.
Exactly. And he was like, "Do you not remember last night?" And like I broke down crying. Like I was fucking
scary.
Yeah, it was terrifying. And I mean, at this point, I was 120 pounds. I'm 5'10".
That's light. Yeah. That's light in the ass.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm like fucking 18, dude. Like just this fucking skate. My face is all covered in like blood. Like I would pick at my face.
You were a picker.
You don't have your mid-20s weight though yet. You still you know.
Yeah,
some more weight to gain.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure. But I'm 165 pounds right now. I'm a skinny guy.
Difference.
Oh yeah, you have some healthy meat on you.
Yeah,
I've been spotting you.
I got a lot of meat.
So you're soaking wet, 120, 18.
Yeah,
good Lord.
And so I call my mom. I'm crying. I say, "Hey, Mom, like I want to, like go to treatment or something," and go to Ashley. They transfer me bed to bed from Ashley to Mark, Maryland Addiction Recovery Center.
Really?
And I thought it was like a punishment because I like got in this like almost physical altercation with James Ryan, who was
I worked at Mark, you know.
Who's James Ryan?
He's the Ashley Emerging Adults Coordinator, like admin guy.
I don't know
That's
if I know.
That's a terrible job title.
But yeah, I worked at Mark for almost a year.
We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Like emerging adults from like, you know, like that's like his job title? That
No. Like so
like
Mark is all ages. It's not just,
no, this was at Ashley.
This was at
Okay,
I'm
Ashley,
trying to
Ashley.
understand what
It's a new it was just a program
is, you know?
so that they could separate the people that were like, you know, 16 to 25 from like and just have a specific
from the
like
40 and up, so
Right.
whatever. Okay.
And so obviously I was a part of that program, and I started out fine at Ashley because it was like, I was so relieved for something different.
At this point, did you think you had a problem? Kind of.
I mean, I didn't really. I was so mentally like.
Oh yeah, you've been fucking
up
with your brain chemistry for 4 or 5 years at this point.
Well,
I mean,
benzos are like really crazy too.
Yeah.
Like, if you read about their effects long term, it's wild.
Yep. I mean, I just wanted like the pain to stop. Really, like I didn't really care about anything else. Long term, it was like I'm hurting right now, and I need to stop hurting right now.
Yeah.
Willing to do anything to feel better.
Exactly. And I went to, let's see. Yeah, so it started out fine at Ashley, and then like I started like punching walls and getting angry and sad because I couldn't handle my emotions, and like the novelty of going to Ashley like wore off, and I was faced with the reality of like you know, the spiritual malady that exists in my life, you know, without the solution. So I thought that because I was so unstable, they sent me to Mark, which honestly might have been true. But
They sent at least 1 or 2 people to different centers when I was there. Somebody snuck in a wet cigarette, and that dude like
wet cigarette? Oh wait, like a dipper? Ew.
And dude, like he jumped from the 2nd story, like in the detox ward.
Real quick, what's a dipper to you? Because there's just a lot of different.
Like PCP, man.
Okay, so no. The dipper I smoked is entirely
It's
different.
not a Jeffrey. You know, not Jeffrey.
No, it's not a Jeffrey. He's a bloke down the street. Everybody loves a Jeffrey.
Fuck is Jeffrey?
Have you never seen Get Him to the Greek?
No.
So they roll this joint that's like it's like 8 different drugs, and they call it a Jeffrey because they're like, why do you call it a Jeffrey? Because like nobody's afraid of Jeffrey. He's just a bloke down the street, and you know that's just what he is. You have some fun with Jeffrey.
Mescaline and
Yeah, some mescaline, all sorts of shit. And like It's a really funny scene. You should actually watch it.
It's like amazing. Like that's when P Diddy does his
Dude,
like,
it's P Diddy and Jonah Hill, and
Oh my
P
God.
Diddy smokes the fucking.
Jonah Hill gets raped in that scene.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Yeah,
That's not
P Diddy
even-
smokes the Jeffrey, and there's like this shag carpet wall for no reason. And he's just stroking the fuzzy wall, and he's like, "Man, I love this shit. This is what pussy used to be like in the '70s. I miss that shit." And you're like,
I'm gonna put this shit on everything, motherfucker. I'm gonna fucking
yeah, dude, it's an amazing scene. Get him to the Greek is really, really, really.
I
funny.
highly recommend that movie.
Yeah,
if you have
underrated. Russell Brand, Jonah Hill, P Diddy. Need I say more? Okay, so you're at Ashley. Oh wait,
you're transferred to Mark.
real quick. Sorry,
How long did you make it at Ashley?
The dipper I
first?
smoked was dipped in embalming fluid. Totally different.
That is isn't that
Embalming
PCP?
fluid is not. No, that is a misnomer. That is not PCP.
No, it is not a PCP, but like those were the dippers that,
That
like
is the
I was.
DARE program. Like fucking, messing
Dude, I
with
was
us.
I was a crud ball. I was a crud ball. I also had a.
But it
month
does
of-
get you fucked up, the embalming fluid.
Yeah,
Not in a
don't
good
do that.
way.
It is fucking. It
No,
is horrendous.
it's not
I also had a month of
PCP.
huffing air duster.
Ooh, I heard about dusted
Bad,
people.
bad, bad. Like,
I've never dusted, but
always remember.
Dude, I
what's
went
her
to do
name?
it for the last time, and I was like, I am a disgusting human
What's
being.
the
Yeah,
girl?
I was like, that is the lowest low. That I was like, that's horrible.
Who was the one on like the most famous duster person from the A&E show?
I don't fucking know.
No, that show like Addicted or whatever. Like
How the fuck if I know?
everyone watched that show when we were younger.
I don't know. Nicole Richie.
No. This is like I don't know, the show about people like fucking up that you would watch when like you were fucking up.
Oh,
Like
I don't
it's
know.
not like hoarders, but like
we've digressed too much. Back to Eli.
yeah.
So
I'm trying to remember.
you get not kicked out, transferred out of Ashley to Mark. Okay.
Right. Went to Mark, thought it was a punishment. Still unstable. At this point, like, so Mark definitely gets you involved in 12-step. Mm-hmm. I slept through my first meeting. I didn't want to fucking be there. Actually, so the first night I got to Mark, I unpacked my shit and went to sleep, and they forgot to get me up to go to the meeting.
That's hilarious. So they all leave in the druggy buggies.
Right.
And you're just at the residence.
Well, I slept through the night, and then I woke up and they're like, "Oh shit, we forgot to get you for the meeting." I was like, "Okay, whatever. I'm gonna try to do that again tomorrow night."
Yeah.
And so I tried to go to sleep, and they came and got me up. I was like, "Fuck, like,
Yeah.
that sucks." And so I just slept in the meeting, and I did that a bunch of times and I was still a mess. I did a lot of, like, I kicked some holes in some walls. Mm-hmm. I never fought anyone. I stole cigarettes multiple occasions. Lots of cigarette
that happens in
stealing.
treatment.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. I don't know. Did I have any trips to this? Oh, I sucked on alcohol prep pads.
Ew.
I snorted a gabapentin.
Oh fuck.
Just
That's
one.
awful.
Everybody's on Gabby's.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's weird. So Gavin, like I like took them for nerve damage.
Yes.
Right.
And it's always crazy to me when people are like, "Oh, I took gabapentin, like pregabalin."
That's
and, like,
that's huge in
'cause I remember people would buy
in
it and
rehabs.
recovery and stuff.
Gabapentin is huge in rehabs.
Well, and I remember like the recovery house scene too.
Mhm.
Like when
Yeah.
we were first coming. around.
And people will like not take them for a week and then take a whole week's
Like,
worth.
Right.
So much.
And I didn't know that was a thing, but I heard if you take a whole week's worth, like, they'll fuck you up. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
what if I just snort one?
Why
Yeah.
did you suck on the alcohol pad? I get the snorting of
Because he's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah,
No,
it was
no,
nuts.
I get it though, but like people like alcohol gets weird, right? Like let's get we've
Oh yeah,
about
alcohol
alcohol.
is weird. It is a very
it
weird
gets
one.
fucking weird. Like like, and it's funny how we'll think like down on people where it's like, oh yeah, you smoke crack and like do heroin, and it's like, well, that motherfucker's like doing like spice and like fucking like drinking like Listerine,
Right.
Like that motherfucker's like, what's going with that
Right.
person? Like alcohol gets weird, man. So I haven't heard that one before, but that's an interesting, because like isn't that more like peroxide type? That's not.
Yeah, it's
No,
really-
isopropyl.
It's
Yeah,
isopropyl
it's-
alcohol.
that's
It is
gotta be-
pure alcohol.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That has to taste so bad.
It does taste bad, and it yielded no effect.
Oh, it had to hurt too. Oh,
Yeah, it sucked.
Well,
oh man. We had someone eat a clonidine, which I thought was pretty funny. Like clonidine pad.
this dude RJ listened to so Kalana Dean is a blood pressure medication.
Yeah. Give it to you during detox.
He was in detox, and they gave him a patch for it. He thought it was Klonopin,
Right, and
so he
he-
ate the patch. not split it open, ate the gel. No,
No,
ate the whole
the
patch.
patch.
And they gave him a second one, and he ate fucking that one too.
Dude,
It's hilarious.
I was like, no, it's not fentanyl patch. Dude. Like,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
it's our guy RJ.
That's so
Absolutely,
funny.
RJ. If you listen to this,
Those
I,
are like the
I
donkey
love you so
stories,
much.
right? Is
I
that
love
the
you so
donkey
much,
story?
RJ. That is an amazing story.
That's the donkey story, right?
Oh,
David?
that was his donkey story. He ate Klonopin patches. Fucking crazy.
Amazing.
I sucked on my nicotine patch.
Ooh,
That's weird too, dude. Why would you do
So
that?
I
Stop
was
sucking on
like,
patches.
what are you?
at one point
effect are you
I was
getting?
in group. I had the patch like on my chest, and I just pulled it out, folded it, just like stuck it in my lip. And this one girl was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like,
You know how much nicotine is in like a nicotine patch, right? Like, that's
yeah,
like
enough.
A lot. Like, that's not. And then you're like,
Fucking perfect answer.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
fucking
dude.
enough.
because then you're taking it sublingually. Oh,
yeah, so it would get me like, I'd be like, "Woo!" And then
yeah.
I'd pull it out, I'd like dry it off, and just stick it back on my body for later.
That's amazing.
Eli, I love you on so many levels.
I've never heard that.
No.
Ever. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually great. Like sometimes I struggle just because I didn't use for very long with like qualifying myself, and then when I
And then
go through these
when you
stories,
vocalize shit,
Right.
oh yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, I need to fucking be here. Like
Hell yeah.
I just suck
absolutely.
on alcohol patches and nicotine patches, and like, you know, it's kind of like gum. I kind of stick it, you know, where I need it to be, like when I need it.
Excuse me?
Quick digression. What's the most crud ball shit you did? Like while you were doing it, you were like, I'm a crud ball.
Or what do you mean by that? Like what type of?
Yeah, like any like a drug using activity or specific drug. Mine was huffing duster. I had a month where I was huffing
I never
duster.
did duster.
Dude,
So
it
I
is
didn't-
fucking hurt. Anybody out there, don't just
I did
first of all, don't do
nitrous.
any drugs in any way whatsoever. But inhalants are a whole nother level of goddamn depravity.
So the nitrous whippet ones,
Ugh.
I did that with like,
Ugh,
and I was like,
it's so horrendous for your brain.
Speedballing with like crack and like heroin,
Ugh.
and that was weird. Like the crack with the like whippets.
Oh,
But and then you're smoking weed and cigarettes and all that shit. But like those two in particular just felt really harsh and awful.
ugh,
Crack always made me feel fucking dirty as fuck.
it's fucking yeah.
Heroin, I'm kind of like, you know, Uma Thurman, like John Travolta.
I'm in
Pulp Fiction,
dude.
Yeah, crack. I'm just like, am I in Cops in '88?
Yeah.
Oof.
So you're in Mark. You're sucking on nicotine patch. You're sucking on
Yeah,
alcohol.
I mean I'm
Okay,
a mess.
yeah.
But I did get
God damn it.
introduced to the 12 steps in AA.
Mhm.
And I got a sponsor, and I actually worked up. I made one amends, which is crazy, and
Yeah.
we'll get to that later because it's definitely an important part of my story up until now.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I AMA'd, so I have a blood disorder, so I have to get
yes.
plasma infusions on. It was a bi-weekly basis at that point. Sometimes it goes to weekly, and I'm back to bi-weekly now.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's awful. What is it called?
it's called congenital TTP, or thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura.
Oh my god.
Yeah, hit the Google.
He explained it to me like within like the first month I knew him because I
Yeah.
asked about your tattoo.
Like, it's the like words you said after TTP. I'm just like, what? Oh my god.
So explain the condition.
Yeah.
So there's an enzyme in your blood. It's called ADAMTS13. It's part of the cleaving factor for von Willebrand's factor.
Yes.
And von Willebrand's and platelets are what make up clots in your bloodstream. When that happens, von Willebrand chains together to create these like long chains that the platelets stick to.
Yes.
But if they are not broken down in the bloodstream, they'll chain together and they will cleave your red blood cells. And that's a problem
Yes.
because red blood cells are good
yes.
for living. So when I was a wee lad, I don't know, maybe a year, whatever, like I got super sick. Obviously, I don't remember.
Yes.
But my parents, a bunch of doctors, a whole bunch of shit. And they
ran a battery of tests to
Yeah,
figure
you
out
know,
what
it
was
was
up with you.
tests. They thought I had cancer, like leukemia or something, and eventually they figured it out. And you know, plasma's got it in it. Technically, I could get a whole blood transfusion, but I don't need the red blood cells. I really just need the 80 AM TS13, which is a tiny percentage of the plasma.
Yeah.
But
So basically, your body does not break down blood clots.
in
a general
sure.
sense.
Where
Yes.
does it kind of affect you most? Because I mean, like, I'm just looking at it now. Like, is it a specific area of your body, or is it just kind of like
Yeah, it's
clotting
balls.
in general?
His balls turn blue.
Well, I mean, like, you know, like with congenital heart failure, right? Like, it can be like your legs as well, right?
Yes.
Like, it's not
Yeah.
just your heart.
Right.
No, yeah.
You know, like, how does that? That's like scary. And infusions every 2 weeks. That's is that kind of like a kidney?
I don't think it's like
dialysis, like what they do with that. Or what do
No,
they
it's
do?
just an infusion for me. There's no, I don't give any blood and then get it back through any sort of processing.
yeah, your blood is useless.
Yeah, nobody wants my blood. That's fine. Vampires get
I will
blood.
keep all of mine.
Your blood. Blade wants your blood.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect me anywhere specific. I also like don't know what it feels like to not have it.
Yeah.
So like I
don't
really
know.
have no sort of like reference point.
Yeah.
What is it? I guess.
We're digressing too far.
Well, I'm just. This is fascinating.
I know.
Like,
But he has it as this amazing, the most apropos
This is
tattoo
a super
ever.
rare disease, like too, right? Like, how many people have this?
Maybe what, like 1,000 in the U.S.
That's crazy.
or like it's like crazy rare.
Yeah. His tattoo is brilliant. So it's ADA
TS13 and then,
with a fuel gauge, and
With
it's
a
on and it's
fuel
on
gauge?
and it's on E.
Oh,
And that's
good.
his tattoo. It's such a brilliant tattoo. It's one of the most brilliant tattoos I've ever seen. I love it
That's
so
really
much.
Good.
Yeah.
yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while.
Oh yeah.
I bet.
Yeah,
It's genius. Back to Mark. Back to Mark. Back to
Yeah, I'll have to
AA.
talk about this later, but yeah.
right. So yeah, I'm I'm at Mark. I get introduced to AA, and like honestly, I think I found like there was something there, right? I found some freedom because I kept like pseudo relapsing at Mark. I mean, it was a relapse. I didn't get high, but the intention was to.
Yeah.
Thus, it was a relapse for me. So I, never had 6 months, even though I'd been in treatment for 9 months or whatever.
What did you relapse on? You said Dusker.
No. He sucked on the alcohol pad or the
sorry. I
nicotine
forgot
patch
about
or
that.
the snorted.
I didn't
GABA
count the
pen.
nicotine patch.
No.
Yeah,
Sucking.
no.
Never count
but-
that. That's nicotine's fair game.
Yeah.
Right.
Sort of.
Yeah. I mean, if you're like stealing and destroying your life for a pack of cigarettes, then it's not fair game.
Yes.
We all did that though. How many change do you steal to support your cigarette habit? I know.
I don't want to talk about it.
Thousands of dollars.
We're not talking about that.
Thousands
So anyway.
of dollars.
Okay.
Yeah. And then one day I'm at the hospital, and I mean, obviously I don't have a phone or anything, but hospitals sometimes have public phones in them. And I made a call to my friend, and I said, "Hey, can you call me an Uber to this address at this time?" And he was like, "Yeah, I got you." And then I called my sponsor, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna AMA for Mark," and he was like, "That's a fucking stupid idea."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." And then I AMA'd, and when I got there, my two friends, Joe and Nate, were there, and they were drunk, and I was jelly that they were drunk and I wasn't, but I didn't use that night. I just
Quick rewind. What was your first drink?
my first drink.
Yeah.
Ever.
My first drink would have been. I mean, I was probably 16. I had a couple of friends and this one girl over. We were gonna like write music or something, and she convinced us to get. There was peppermint schnapps in my mom's liquor cabinet.
Oh man, that's
I'm
a good
sure
one.
solid
That's a good one.
there were
good
other alcoholic beverages.
Oh, yeah.
in
Yeah,
there,
but you went for the peppermint.
but I went for the
Schnapps.
schnapps.
Yeah. Which is
and
so syrupy.
That's pretty solid. Like first.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know, that's not too bad actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I really don't think I liked the feeling very much,
Okay.
which was
Good.
which is interesting.
Good.
But I was like, yeah, this is like whatever.
Eric, you remember Rumpleman's shots?
Oh man, of course.
Candy cane in a glass.
At the games
terrible.
too.
Yeah.
Like
Mix it with some hot cocoa.
Because I mean, like when it gets
It was like
cold,
drinking a York peppermint patty.
Like,
Right.
They, like especially old boomers, man. They always break out like the liqueurs.
Dude, schnapps.
They're like, oh, the 35%. It's like I don't want to drink all this fucking sugar and
It's syrup
shit, dude.
and
Like,
gross. Okay.
Gross.
Yeah.
So these guys
I
are
was more
drunk.
of
They
a
made. Yeah, you
vanilla extract that I stole from Giant kind of guy.
Oh God, you're a savage.
What were you doing with vanilla extract? The alcohol content?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 5%.
No, it is not.
What's
It's like 40 or 50 or something.
Yeah. Anybody listening, don't fucking do that. It's gross.
It's super gross. But I've never had a legal drink. So
Good.
Yeah.
Wait,
that's
so
awesome.
all of your drinks have been like weird side things that like the
Like the
convenience
jungle
store?
juices and
Well, not even that. Like sucking on like alcohol pads. Like,
I mean, so I've had-
drinking, like,
It was one time, dude.
I had
but
a
We
couple.
just talked about the other thing right here. You know, like,
Yeah.
It's like what, like I mean, let's talk about this niche world of like.
No,
you
let's
know,
not. Let's zip. We're zipping
so ways to
forward.
get
He
drunk with that.
AMA'd. His friends are drunk.
of CVS drinking, I guess.
Dude, oh, we're gonna get to CVS and getting fucked up. I have more. I have more.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was like a really sad person and really poor. Well, no, really broke.
Yes.
So that night as well, having been, I hit up this girl that I knew from high school that I knew was still in the area, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm smoking weed with like with these friends," and she was like drunk, and I met up with her, and I was like, I wanted to have sex with her, and that like didn't end up happening, and I was kind of upset. But basically, like I've AMA'd from treatment to go meet up with drunk people, and then that night I like snuck out of my mom's house to go meet up with people that were smoking weed and were drunk because I was like really horny at this point.
Yeah, you'd been in treatment for 9 months. Yeah.
Horny, actually, like you were horny early in the story.
He's a young man.
I'm just-
remember, dude. Remember ourselves
I
at
remember
that
there was
age.
something about boner pills, you know.
Yeah, they were never necessary.
But there wasn't a girl.
No.
Yeah, and like I fucking relapsed.
Yeah.
I got a job at a car dealership. That was funny. I
It
was
has to be all. Like, were you a salesperson?
yeah.
That sucks.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I really didn't like do anything.
I didn't sell shit.
I actually sold one car.
How much
Nice.
commission did you get?
$100-something. I
What?
actually, so I wasn't, it was a used car, one, and two, I wasn't actually a salesman yet, but
Okay.
there was
so
like all the salesmen were busy. I was like a trainee and I was like, I'm just going to send it. And I just like walked up to this dude and I was like, hey, like, do you want a car? And he was like, yeah, I want this like specific one, the specific used car. So I didn't even really have to like sell it to him. I just like went and got the car.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do the paperwork yet because I wasn't a salesman. So the other guy did the paperwork and then gave me half the commission.
Nice.
But anyways, like I was a mess. At one point, I told him my dog died so I could go cop. And then I came back to work. Of course.
That's a terrible story. Why would you go back to work?
And I wasn't even paid by the hour. So there was literally no point for me to go back there.
Yeah. That's
So is that how
terrible.
that's how that works though with like those car dealerships, right? Like you guys are just commission.
Well, I would have been, but for the first month, you're set. You make however much a week.
Huh? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then you move on to being a salesman.
What a fascinating
Yeah. Shit.
business model.
They're shit. Anyway.
That's awful.
So, and I'm high on Adderall. I got a hold of my dad's credit card. I ran it up like $2,000
Ooh.
on various nonsense, cigarettes, hella energy drinks, Adderall.
What's your favorite energy drink?
So now I drink Red Bulls, which
Not now when you were using, like especially when you were doing Adderall, because
Oh,
I know you had a booster.
as much as possible. I mean, the adrenaline shocks were good. I really never liked bangs, but they are
Bangs are
effective.
too much. They're too much. 300 milligrams. That's
yeah,
absurd.
Yeah, it's way too much, but that's what I went for, like the 300s. I liked the coffee ones, the Starbucks double shots or triple shots.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Those
They're
actually
super
taste
tasty.
good too. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are good.
I liked Nas when I was younger.
NOS was good. I remember when NOS was like we're getting fucked up. Like me and my friends would go out and get like an energy drink and feel cool.
There was an energy drink.
That's what's, dude. There's not age limits on those, are there?
There's for some now, actually.
Okay, so you can't be like a 12-year-old and go buy a fucking bang.
And CBD, they
you did?
Yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
They don't give a fuck though. It depends on
yeah. A gas station.
Cigarettes when you were underage, right?
No, I stole them.
You never bought cigarettes like before
from my
you were
mom.
18?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, my mom had fucking cartons of Carltons, so I was like, oh, I'm smoking Carltons today.
But you bought
They don't even
at, like,
exist anymore.
7-Eleven, right?
What?
You would buy cigarettes at like 7-Eleven at like 16, 17.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, I would try.
Oh, you didn't.
And then once I was 18, they bumped the age and didn't grandfather me in.
That sucks,
Yeah.
dude.
And then as soon as I actually turned 21, I quit.
That's great.
Yeah, so fuck. We're even. Oh yeah, a car dealership, whatever. I relapsed. I went to more treatments. I went to psych wards. I went to what the fuck are they called? Crisis centers. And I would go, and then I would come out. I would get introduced to the real world, and I would get high again.
What's a crisis center entail?
It was like a fucking
Kind of
pseudo.
like a helping up mission, sort of, I guess, but even smaller.
I mean, I think most of the people there were like mental health patients, but it
Yes.
was basically like you weren't. It wasn't any sort of long-term stay. It was like you're gonna spend the night here, so we can figure out somewhere for you to go.
Yeah.
Like a mental health homeless shelter.
Yeah, it's just a way station. Yeah.
Right.
Like, they have them in Catonsville, right? Like the
Yeah.
I can't remember the name. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
That's cool.
But I did that for, I guess, another couple years, right? Since I first went to treatment in Ashley. And then I ended up at this recovery house, where you just pay rent and it doesn't really matter what you do. And the condition, I really...
Those are shitholes.
Yeah, but the thing is, the people that owned it also worked at the treatment center and owned the treatment center, and they would send people there. And I don't think the room that I was in was a legal bedroom. I mean, they literally turned every room into a bedroom.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's,
which is
dude, that's the game, man.
Yep.
Like,
But-
I mean, like Richie's house, I think had 16 people.
Oh
It's like,
god, yeah, in like a fucking four
rooms or
four
something.
rooms.
Right.
Yeah.
And like the Traditions house is like unbelievable, and I've been to other houses that are not Traditions house level, but like you gotta there's like regulations on whether or not you can occupy a room, especially
Absolutely.
with two people.
Yeah.
Like so it was like fucked up, but whatever. I mean, like I wasn't putting myself in the position to find fantastic housing at this point in my life. So I was there. I got a job, actually. I got a job doing fire alarm that I found on Indeed with no experience. And I got this job, and I started working. And I used, again, like I had. I still had a Suboxone script written for me.
And you weren't an opiate user.
Never, but I had Suboxone multiple times.
Huh.
I was a very good talker.
Well, they
Yeah.
started
Oh, dude,
prescribing that for,
I know
like,
you. Yeah.
alcohol and shit.
You
too.
could talk
Like,
yourself into drugs really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suboxone, they don't prescribe that just for opiates, which is weird.
No,
well,
yeah,
I got
it's for lots of things.
I think the reason I ended up on that is I went to the emergency room and I told them I'd been doing tramadol, which was true, but I'd taken like a couple of them.
Yeah.
And they gave me 12 milligrams of Suboxone, and I was nodding out in the emergency room. They didn't do any blood work either or like check anything. I was like, hey, I'm feeling anxious, and they gave me 12 milligrams. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so from that point forward, now at least I have Suboxone in my system, and I could. So they wrote me this script. Anyways, I'd stopped taking it. I threw up a bunch. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I still had the script. I didn't have a sponsor. I didn't have a program. I was kind of going to meetings, but barely. And I used again. I smoked weed with my friend, and it wasn't great.
Yeah.
It just sucked. Like when I took the Suboxone, like I was throwing up because I throw up when I first start and when I come off.
Yeah.
And I was at work. I was on the night shift at this point, anyways, I decided I was going to do something different. I told the house manager, he was like, yeah, like you can stay, just stop doing that. And I was like, yeah, this isn't the place. I ended up going to this place called Nick's Place. And you know, I stayed clean. That place was awesome. I've never been anywhere like there, and I went to a lot of different fucking treatment programs. And I kept my job, and I worked, and there were a lot of days that I wanted to kill myself. And I struggled through all the feelings that I had used over every single other time because I was just fed up. And
when did you transition to NA?
That was when I transitioned.
Okay.
Was when I got to Nick's Place. Before then, I'd been going to some NA meetings and some AA meetings, but I really wasn't involved in any program since Mark. Like, I was pseudo involved, which never worked for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I started going to NA meetings heavily. You were required to go to a bunch of them, and at this point,
was it this area? What area?
It was, so that's in PG. They're in Beltsville.
Okay.
So mainly
there's some
Laurel.
great meetings in Beltsville.
Yeah.
I think Beltsville is like just a general area.
Yeah.
So some MoCo meetings, a lot of Laurel meetings.
Laurel's a good area.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. Some in like Savage, and Columbia. So, and like I just got super involved in NA. I got a sponsor. Scotty P celebrates 30 years tonight, actually.
Fantastic.
Which is pretty fire.
Nice.
He was my first sponsor, and then I dropped him and changed sponsors. I actually cut myself while I was at Nick's Place.
What area is Scotty in? Is he West Side?
I think he is. Here? I think he is West Side, but he would come down. He was involved in Nick's Place.
Okay.
So that's
and where's Nick's Place?
It's in Beltsville.
Beltsville.
Okay. That's a weird area. Like, I guess because you're like between the Laurel, Howard County, and then the PG, Montgomery County, right?
Yeah.
That whole, I mean,
that's a
Rockville,
area.
Bethesda, Silver Spring, Beltsville. That's all a weird area.
It's fucking weird.
It's just a weird area in Maryland.
I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic place to be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'll ask a question about that later. But go ahead.
Yeah, so like I'd been doing okay, still really unstable emotionally. One day, I don't know what pissed me off. Actually, I think I like didn't do the dishes, and someone told me to do the dishes, so I cut myself. I didn't use, but they were like, "Yeah, bro, like you can't stay here." I'm still on good terms with them, which is actually amazing. They're like, "You can come back, but for like liability reasons, like we can't have you here."
Where'd you cut yourself?
My wrists.
Oh, wow.
Man, that's like.
No, okay, so I never
like, did you go like across or like?
Yeah,
Jesus
across.
Christ.
Always
I mean,
across.
I gotta ask, like, are you
Lord.
looking for attention? Or are you
Always,
trying to do it the right
yeah.
way? You know?
I mean, it was always either attention or just like
a sense of control.
and to
The
feel the
self-harm
pain.
thing makes sense, man. Like, I'm a self-harmer. I totally get it.
Yep. Same.
Yeah. So this was, and that was the, in a history I'd cut before, on multiple occasions. Always the same. I have little scars from it now. It was never really that deep. Not that like,
Yeah.
I still like I had to go. Actually, after I did that, like I had a therapist I'd been seeing regularly and telling the truth to, and like I called her. I told Nick's Place. Ended up, I had to call my mom because I had to go stay with her, and but I didn't fucking use, and honestly, like it was one of the more graceful exits that I've had from any sort of program, even given the circumstances. And so I went to my mom's for a couple weeks, and I knew that I couldn't stay there. It was the same basement where I used, and so I was like in the market to like move to a recovery house somewhere, and I put effort into it, and I took suggestions.
That's just a funny way to put it. I was on the market for.
I was in the market for
somebody was going to get me, and I was a free agent at the time.
Yes, and I ended up at Tradition's house, and that house fucking rocks too. Again, big NA community. I kept getting involved. Still the ups and downs. When I moved into Tradition's house, when I asked Martin to sponsor me, and I got really fucking going on the steps, and other stuff, other assignments that he had me do, and service and getting involved, and it was a slow battle up until, I really think stuff really, really started to get good after my first year. I think maybe 14 months in, like it really.
So you didn't have a pink cloud. You struggled that first year.
My first year was fucking hell, dude. I wanted to kill myself all the time. Dude. Like so fucking emotionally unmanageable. I was still stealing, but I would feel ashamed of doing these things.
I did go to treatment in my first year, so during that. So yeah, no, I'm a bad example.
Right.
All right, so
14 months at your first year.
Yeah, stuff started to get really good, and I started to, implement things into my life from the program, right? And I started eating better. I quit smoking. I got involved in service. I was working the steps. I got involved in area service. I started hanging out with people, exercising, not stealing, showing up and giving my best effort at work. And I got a bunch of raises. I started putting effort into my spirituality and meditation and stuff, and music. Music's been huge for me.
That's my question, Eric. I'm going to ask that.
What?
Keep going.
That's his question, Eric.
We'll see.
Yep. You fuck.
We'll see what happens about that.
Fucking hate you.
And
You hate me.
So, this is a part that I definitely have to talk about, and it relates to the amends that I made while I was at Mark.
Okay.
Remember that callback where I said this moment was going to happen?
Yep.
Yeah, well, now this moment is happening.
Fucking A.
So, in February, the guy that called me the Uber, my friend Nate, who I met up with, he overdosed and died.
Oof.
He's my age, so he was 22.
Yep.
I was at work when I got the call, and yeah, that fucking sucked. And I finished the day out at work, actually, which was some big boy fucking moves for me to do, and I called some people. I called my sponsor. I was I still cry about it.
Yeah.
The one amends that I have made in my entire recovery process was to him while I was at Mark. And I got to make it before he died, which is kind of crazy.
Did he receive it well?
Yeah. It was really the reason I did it was I know I'd harmed him just by maybe I stole from him a couple times while we were using or something. And I was talking with my sponsor. He was like, yeah, we'll start with the easy one. We were still friends. And he was like, yeah, dude, for sure. We're good, It wasn't any sort of major harm. But I did get to at least do that, I guess. And, there was times when I was doing that in and out stuff before I went to Nick's place where, he was in the area. Joe, who was also there at the park and is now clean, was there, and we would go to this place called the Del Rey Club for AA meetings in Bethesda.
Yep.
And we would go to other meetings, and we were all semi-involved in AA, honestly. But yeah, that happened. And that was a major event. My grandmother died in December before that, and I got to go show up for my family, show up for my mom. And those were things that I just would not have been able to do. I actually got to go when my grandmother got diagnosed with cancer. I got to take time off work and go up and see her and spend time with her and my grandfather before she died, which I would not have gotten to do if I was still using drugs, which is pretty cool. Or even if I hadn't been progressing in my life, and now I still have bad days. I just had a really, really difficult emotional day, but I feel I'm a closer to the normal people feelings spectrum, where like you have bad days and then like you let them go and like you can have a good day like later.
Yeah.
Instead of like, now this month is ruined and I'm going to cut myself. I still do some suicidal ideation stuff, but I think at this point it's more of a self-pity tool than a actual desire to die. It's like a weird
something your brain does.
You're also like
an
intelligent person, so you probably can rationalize it as well, right? Like the suicide as an option.
Sorry, I didn't get that first part.
Like, you're an intelligent person. I was giving you a compliment.
Okay.
No, he heard you. He just didn't need to
Can
get
you
it.
repeat that, please? I want to hear it again. But like, because I was talking to my therapist about this, and like, it's kind of fucked up, but like, you know, suicide is an option, right? Like, it's a viable option. Like, as fucked up as that sounds, right? Like, it is.
Right.
Like, it isn't like, you know, I don't want to do it because it's selfish and blah blah blah, and like, you know, all the things, right? And it like, took me a long time to get there, but like, when you're like going through that mental health journey, man, like when you're starting to kind of get to like this place of contentment and like all that stuff, like suicide makes sense sometimes, and it's hard to get over that when, you know, you are thinking about it like rationally, because if you think about it rationally and logically, you can get there pretty easily.
But I mean, it's about building a quality of life where that notion passes. Like, and you, because you can think about because the logic swings both ways.
Right.
So when you logically think, and you're like, no, you know, I do have these people that love me. I am doing a lot of really good things in my life. I have a different trajectory now. Then you're like, okay, it's not an option.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent the majority of that first year thinking about suicide and using, and not committing suicide or using.
Yeah.
So like I at this point, like I can think about stuff and not do it. Like that's viable. I still don't want to think about it. Like,
yes, exactly.
But you know, it's a long inbuilt pattern.
One day at a time, man.
Dude, I'm coming up on 11 years, and still every once in a while that shit sneaks in.
Right.
Like, I have a wife and kids, I have a career, like I have all the, like, I have most of the things, and like I have a really good life, and every once in a while it's just like, you know, like, what if I just, like, you know, swerved off this bridge? And it's like, why? What? Fuck that thought. Fuck that thought. And, like, Herb calls them the bad idea bats, because they just fly out of nowhere, and they're just you shoot, get out of here. No, I love the bad idea bats. That I heard, like, he told me that year one, and I've kept that forever, and I've spread that to people. It's just it's the bad idea bats that they just fly out of they fly out of the darkness, out of nowhere, and you just gotta shoo them away. Like, fuck fuck out of here. No, you're not getting on me. All right. Well, how are you today? You know, how's everything today?
Like, literally today?
Well,
or do you mean
the general, you know, the royal today.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got some big changes coming up in my life. I've been working for
because you switched from fire to security.
I switched to from
access
fire
control
to access and cameras and stuff. When I was at Nick's place.
Okay.
Because the job I was doing before was paying me
poo-poo
for very hard work. Like, it was like,
fire's hard work.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the company I'm at now does fire, and I do a little bit of that too. But this was just like, we had to pipe a whole building, and it was me and one other person just like putting up beam clamps, and it was like the working conditions were, and they were paying me like nothing. So
cool.
I switched jobs. And now, like, I'm doing really good at my job. I got a lot of raises, and I asked for them, and I knew I deserved them. And like, I work hard. But I'm going to quit.
Oh, really?
And I'm going to go to college.
Hell yeah, dude.
Good job, bro.
So
good fucking job, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to get an engineering degree.
Fucking right.
It's going to be awesome. What specific type of engineering, I'm not sure yet. I don't actually have to declare that.
That time.
I've got the stuff in the works to switch my residency to Baltimore County to go to CCBC for the first 2 years because it's like omega cheap to do 2 years at CCBC. If you live in Baltimore County, it's like half of in Maryland.
Well, then you can go to any of the state schools if you get the AA. So you're automatically like let in.
Yep. So UMBC will be the next step. They have a program I can go off the bat basically on a trajectory to start as a junior at UMBC.
UMBC is a good school, man.
It's a great school.
Actually, when I went to RIT or got into RIT, I also got into UMBC, the engineering program. That was like my second choice.
Yeah.
Probably would have been a better choice if I was, but I never even made it there.
You don't want to go to Rhode Island.
It's not in Rhode Island. It's
New
Rochester.
York.
Oh.
You're thinking of RISD.
Rochester.
You're thinking of RISD.
Yes, I am.
Because like
I
that's
am.
the MICA
Yep. Oh, you don't want to go to Rochester either.
Yeah.
Fuck
I mean,
Rochester.
you know, like,
but unless you want
is
to,
there
unless
do
you want
in
to be a
central
Mormon,
New York?
'cause that's where Mormonism was founded.
Oh, what? Joseph Smith?
Yeah, Rochester, New York. You didn't know that?
Why'd they run away?
Because
it's Rochester, fucking New York.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Why would you not move from Rochester to a Great Salt Lake? That sounds amazing.
God told us.
Moving on up.
To the west side.
Yeah.
The West.
Because Moroni told you to.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, we got some questions for you. Eric, would you like to go first?
No, get your question out of the way.
Okay.
So we just don't have to worry about it. You know, let's take the trash out first. Right?
Okay. Wow.
Damn.
So much shade. All right. I know you glazed over it real quick. You are a musician. I know that. So how has that changed from addiction to recovery, and how so how has that process shifted, just being fucked up, being clean, and also like what does it bring to your recovery, man?
Dude, I love talking about this. Because I first like really started playing music right before I started using. And while I was using, I was technically in a band with Nate and Joe, actually. And I would play bass for them.
What kind of band? What are you playing?
It was like prog rock.
Okay.
We have a couple songs that we got recorded, and if we had stuck together and Nate didn't die and you know all that stuff, I feel like we could have done good. But anyways, and like, you know, music had been a little bit a part of my life before then. I messed around with recording just on my little like tiny Mac with like a Behringer
Pro Tools or whatever. Yeah.
$40 interface. No, GarageBand. Pro
Okay.
Tools
is way more.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's GarageBand. I got this crappy interface that was the cheapest one possible, and I would mess around with stuff, and I got this like $20 Amazon microphone, and I started using. And I mean, when I started using, like, I don't know, when people talk about the creativity coming through like their drug use and all that stuff, like that's just not my story. Like now that I've achieved, like I recorded a song, I recorded all the instruments, I did the vocals, I mixed it, I mastered it, and I put it out. It's like on Spotify.
It's very good.
And shit. It's called The Other Side, under the name Still Going Up. That's my band name. It's just me. But
nice.
Like the Macklemore song, The Other Side, or like,
I mean, like it's
or the
different-
Chili Peppers, The Other Side.
song,
Yeah,
The Other
yeah.
Side?
Lots of other sides.
If you look up The Other
Timberlake's
Side,
The Other Side.
There's many other sides.
mine is definitely not the top of the list.
Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron have a duet called The Other Side.
I will absolutely have to listen to
Fuck
that.
is
Yeah.
that? Like,
Zac Efron, no, you don't have to listen to it.
What?
But anyway, so the music,
like
how
numbers?
how great is it for like your recovery?
I mean, now, honestly, it like, I just love doing it. Like, and the fact that I can actually put in effort, and like I am so much more creative and so much more like committed and able to actually get stuff done as far as like creating music when I'm clean and like in recovery. And like, honestly, I don't want to sound like, I like really like, I don't watch TV. I don't really like do a lot of like, I don't know, lounge, mindless activities. Like I make music. That's like what takes up my free time. Like I'm in a meeting, I'm at work, I'm making music, or like I'm with friends doing something. And it's so much fun. I mean, and it's a great way to like express myself. It's challenging. I mean, really, like at the end of like a long day, and I just sit down, and I get to I light a candle, and I turn all the lights off, and I like play guitar, and I like do my guitar practice, because I'm trying to do like a lot of, practice, and it's just like my favorite time of the day every day. I'm always looking
it's
forward
a form
to
of
it.
meditation for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I miss that.
Yeah, it's getting your mind and your spirit right. Hell yeah. All right. What you got, Eric?
Oh, I'm actually going to stick with music because, like, you're talking about creativity, right? And, like, how, I definitely can see as you're trying to record, being, like, clean and sober and, like, in a good mindset is definitely better when you're trying to, like, produce something and, like, make something. But with writing music, there is times where, like, being happy is not good.
Yeah, sometimes happy songs suck.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. Like, you got to write the sad songs.
I'm in like a bummer period right now, and I was like telling my therapist this, and I was like, man, like, I might be able to actually like write a song for the first time in a while out of this. That'll be kind of cool. Like, how is that coming along? Because like I've had like some boost, like, but then like there's like dead periods at like a certain point, like. If there's no sadness, like what the fuck am I writing about? Like fucking rainbows and like sunshine.
Actually, yeah, the writer Proust or Proust, however you want to pronounce it, like when he was happy, he was like, my writing was garbage. Yeah, he was like he was a writer, not musical writer. But yeah, he was like when you're struggling, it's way more revealing about your human condition than when it's all rainbows and sunshine.
Sure. I mean, I think it's easier for me to write the sad songs. Writing a happy song is fucking hard.
Very hard. Very hard.
So I have...
How do you do it, Bruno Mars? How do you do it?
I know.
Are those really happy?
Pharrell, how are you happy?
Like, but listen to the
you're a
the
millionaire.
lyrics,
That's right.
Like, I don't think it's really happy, right?
Yeah.
Some of them.
Same bed, but
I don't know.
It feels just a little bit bigger now.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good. That's the wedding song? Okay.
Is it? What?
No, that's When I Was Your Man.
They have so many wedding, like, I just think Bruno Mars, they have like, 4 solid wedding songs, I think.
I don't know.
Oh, like to play at a wedding. Because there's a song where he talks about marrying.
I think Treasure.
Yeah.
Treasure, and it's like, the funniest thing about that song is like, in the beginning of it, it's like,
but then he also has,
Squirrel,
I'm gonna fuck you like a gorilla, which is amazing.
Wait, what?
You've never heard that song, Gorilla, by Bruno Mars? Dude, that is a dope song. Gorilla is a dope song. It's you and me, baby. We're gonna fuck like gorillas. It's great.
That sounds amazing.
It is a great song.
I will have to find it.
And he hits such a high note in it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I wish I had that register. I don't.
You talking Bloodhound Gang?
What? No, I'm talking about Gorilla by fucking Bruno Mars.
Like You and Me Baby make like, I don't know. Sorry.
Maybe. I don't know.
But what's your experience with like writing like now that you're clean? I mean, you have the mental health stuff, so that's like another element of like
a good album.
Right. So the other side, which is the one song that I've released, is the product of many songs being written and recorded and not making the cut. And also I was learning the whole time.
So
like
the Beatles, like what, track 12, like Sgt. Pepper's, right?
I don't think you're a Beatles guy, are you?
No.
No.
He's young, dude.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We had that phase like in high school where you just kind of go through the 60s and 70s.
I'm not listening to the Beatles if I'm zooted on coke, dude. Like that is not my music for fucking uppers.
Xanax though, like the White Album sounds like a decent time.
Always metalcore.
Fucking right.
God damn it.
Or pop punk. I love pop punk.
Okay, so prog,
dude, if you need a metal
off,
singer,
like I played in a prog band.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh I
got screams.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, dude, I just did my first scream and recorded it. It's actually not bad. Yeah, it's pretty vicious.
I've never heard David's music before.
You never will.
Wow.
Yeah, you never will.
It'll be on the next single that I put out.
I'd love to hear it. I want to hear that screamcore or whatever.
So when my bands, like, we really weren't that heavy. We actually kind of had like a bit of like a Rage Against the Machine vibe.
Oh hell yeah!
Dope.
That's
fucking
sick.
That's like its own thing, man.
Right.
We were very much like a punk metal mix.
Right.
And like some of the bands, I was a drummer. Some I really prefer lead singing, and I haven't done it in forever. But God, I would love to. God, and I've always kept writing. But anyway, all right,
We're still going up, bro.
hell yeah, we're still fucking going up. Dude, I actually have a great band name. But anyway, I'm moving on. We good? We good on that question? Yes.
We were
All right.
just talking about process.
Moving on. Bum 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 bum. How has your addiction manifested in recovery?
Talking about quitting the cigarettes, man. I was a pack-a-day smoker. And it was just the same shit for me, dude.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't function without the drugs, and I couldn't function without a cigarette. Or nicotine in my system is the first thing I thought about in the morning, and like the last thing I did before I went to sleep. So caffeine for sure. There was a point where
That's early recovery. Yeah.
I mean it, like there were points where I would be like vomiting daily because of the caffeine, and I would get like the cheap, like there's some weird like 5-hour energy. Even thinking about it makes me want to vomit. Actually,
Wait, you guys, like your cat, like, because David and I, it was like, I mean, there was like Nas, but like
we had like
we
Red
didn't
Bull.
have Bang.
We had
You
like
know,
Red
like-
Bull parties at Brad's where, dude,
Bang is like-
there were just coolers of Red Bull,
right.
Because
and
Bang
like
is
I called
2
it just
times
getting
stronger
weird.
than Red Bull.
Yeah, I'd be like, so we get like it'd be a Friday night, and I'd call
we're
Brad and be
gonna
like,
get
we
weird,
getting
smoke
weird tonight? And
cigarettes.
it's like, yeah, man, we're getting weird. So like 4 different people are bringing over 12 packs of like of Red
so
Bull,
gross.
and we're drinking 40, 50, 60 ounces of fucking Red Bull, staying up till 4 a.m.
2
just
packs of cigarettes.
Yeah, 2 packs of cigarettes. Just talking about all sorts of weird shit, but
We had
like,
some fun sex
but we were staying
talks.
clean,
right.
sort of.
So at the last, I think it was the Ocean City convention. Me and Hardcore Chris and Will, we would get a Bang, and we would crack it. You drink a little bit, and you put a 5-hour energy in the Bang, and we called it a gang bang.
That's
Did you
amazing.
post that somewhere?
That's amazing.
And it was like it was just a terrible feeling.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's just not fun.
Yeah, that's like an Irish car bomb, but just call it like a cardiac bomb. Like, fuck
dude.
that. You want to do some cardiac bombs tonight? Yeah, man. Fuck our hearts up.
Right.
Power energy.
What about like spending, women, gambling, any of that?
Ooh, dude, I love spending. That one still sticks with me. I've gotten way better. But I mean, I built like a home studio. And that's where most of the money, I mean, that's honestly, everything I've bought for the home studio has actually gone to use and been of benefit. But when there was a point where I was buying a lot of shoes, and I gave those away because I had too many shoes, and I don't actually care about shoes.
Yeah.
But there's
sneakerhead?
something to spend money on.
Yeah.
My coworker was when I started this new job, so I just like started doing what he did.
Why?
Because I wanted to feel good about myself and
Yeah,
spend money.
you wanted the endorphin rush of having a new shiny toy.
Well,
Right.
But why did you do it through like someone else's like thing and not through your own thing?
I didn't know what my own thing was yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh yeah. Wait. How about like amps and I'm sure that's all coming. Amps and guitars.
I have.
Yeah?
It's been happening. I mean,
You also have a knife fetish, don't you?
there was the knife. So it was shoes first, and then the knife period. I have a lot of expensive knives.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking? Are we talking like
Butterfly
those
knives.
crazy like ones you see at like flea markets?
No, not like
No.
not the Jess Webster. No.
Okay. I'm thinking just that's what I'm talking about.
Mostly,
No.
I mean, I have folding knives. And
Brad
my
still
most
has that
expensive-
knife, by the way.
Yeah, I think of like the ones like Greg or Jess would buy. That's like, oh, look at this cool.
Like the
thing.
super fantastical has like a dragon handle and like 8 different
Oh no,
blades
that's
coming off it.
usually a cheaper knife. Is
Yeah.
gonna do all that like nonsense.
Yeah.
No, we're talking just like good material, like
Yeah.
titanium.
Oh,
and, like,
I've seen your knives.
beautiful milling and like.
I would like a switchblade and like a nice hunting knife. Those would be really cool.
That got weird.
Want a switchblade?
Oh, it's switchblade.
I don't know. They're kind of cool, man.
No, they are. Knives are very nice.
Yeah, but
So, yeah,
still,
knives.
just like could have put my money towards.
Seeking a feeling with women.
Yeah, and I got some feelings.
Yeah.
But really, when I moved to the Tradition House after Nick's place, after I cut myself, while I was at Nick's place, I had 2 girlfriends.
Nice.
Do they know about each other?
No, at different periods, at different times.
I didn't know if that was cool with y'all.
Yeah, whatever.
You weren't allowed to at Nick's place, so it was just like this sneaky, like stupid rehab relationship.
Yeah.
1 year nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, no, it was just like while you're at Nick's place, like you just don't be having a girlfriend. Just definitely, especially not at 90 days clean.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess you could have a girlfriend, but like you're not allowed to like just go and like see her and like do stuff, especially early on.
That's kind of stupid. Like I understand that rule, and it seems like a good rule, but also you can't learn how to be in a good, healthy relationship without being in a relationship. Sir, you can understand the theory of it, but you don't really understand the dynamics of like really interacting with somebody and caring for their feelings and beyond that, living with somebody, all that stuff.
And what if that's
by
the
not
person,
doing
dude?
it.
Like, what if that's the moment? And like that's like, and you're like, no, I gotta wait like another like few weeks.
Exactly.
Until I hit my year.
What? Hey, whatever your journey is, it is what it is. But like that's ultimately what led me to being with my wife. Like I had just gotten out of a shitty relationship, and like I was like, all right, I'm not going to be in a relationship for 18 months. It lasted like 3.
I know you moved away.
The thing is, like,
Yeah.
and you could actually gave like false information, not on purpose, but you could phase up to the point where you could go on dates and like you could have a girlfriend.
Okay, yeah,
in the program. But initially, like you are just like you just fucking came out of rehab.
Yeah,
like,
focusing on yourself, in like, especially first 90 days.
and you have to like you
90,
probably don't have a
90,
car
all that
yet.
shit.
So and so the relationships were a lot of like sneaking around, which is just so stupid. But then left
also
Nick's
kinda
place
fun.
with a girlfriend. What girlfriend meant to me at the time was that we would have sex.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then she would say, hey, like I'd like to do other stuff. And I'd be like,
Netflix?
Don't really like you like that.
yeah. Which is like not cool. But I really didn't understand. I still don't like really understand how to like have a healthy, legitimate relationship. And it wasn't the time for me.
Have you had a long
wait.
relationship with a girl?
Never.
Well,
Really?
Like how do you think you like learned that from like childhood? Because that's like,
What? Just banging chicks?
well, no, but that concept of a relationship.
Pretty easy, dude.
I just looked it up.
No, the concept of a relationship.
Pornhub.
Right?
Yeah.
Like relationships aren't just about like one thing. Like relationships are about give and take. They're
Oh,
about,
yeah.
Like it's such a complex thing.
Well, that's what I just asked. I asked him
you know?
like, hey, how has he had a long-term relationship, and he said no. So
Right. And I mean, now, like, I still haven't had one, but from what I have learned and from hearing other people talk about it, it is totally different than the idea that that I had.
Yep.
It's not
Like,
just
it's not.
banging.
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing at fucking young 20s.
Yeah. And then, I mean, so
I was a boyfriend.
I broke up with
So
her.
was I, though.
And I went and just like banged some other chick. And then, which was, whatever.
I think that was the one we talked about. I think you asked me like some advice about that one, maybe.
Did you not
It's
feel
totally
too good about
possible.
yourself?
Yeah, no, it was. So, do you remember the girl that I dated and she had Adderall back in my using time?
No.
She had the Adderall prescription.
Oh,
that she didn't
okay,
take.
yeah.
It was her. She like popped up again.
Oh.
She was like, "I'm clean now," and so I broke up with my existing girlfriend at the time. Went and had sex with her, and then I was like, "Hey, actually, I like don't want to talk to you anymore," which was okay. I never made it any sort of like I'm gonna have a relationship with you or anything.
Yeah.
I didn't make any promises that I didn't keep, and then like through this last year, just been chill.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I had one. Yeah, how do we even get on this? Why am I talking
Manifestations.
Yeah. Women.
About
of
this?
addiction.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. And so at that point, really, those were the two examples. Like, really, just sex, not really like women or like the
Has porn
relationship.
gotten unmanageable
Yeah, how's that?
at times?
No,
Good.
I mean,
Good.
what does that mean? Like watching it in place, like
Oh, like
How many times have you masturbated in a day?
I think that's the first time we've ever asked that question.
I mean, what time is it?
I'm on 3 right now. Shit.
Yeah.
I've jerked off 3 times since we've been here, dude.
I just got off.
I mean, what do you think I was doing in the bathroom?
Yeah. Why do you think I wore this massive puff jacket?
Sex is such a weird one, though, right? Like, because we're all like,
oh yeah,
fucking shameful as shit to talk about porn, but like, all of us,
especially for
porn.
guys, it's something to
and even women now, dude. Like the women numbers are going up with porn. I'm feeling it, dude. Apparently, it's almost getting even. Like same with alcohol.
Good.
So like they're catching up.
Yeah.
I mean, so actually, I have been back on the dating apps.
Ooh, which one? Hinge?
Hinge, Tinder, and Bumble are the ones that I use.
I never used Bumble or Hinge.
I never
used
more success
any
on
of
them than Tinder.
Any of them.
Well, Tinder's just kind of like
that was
maybe a
after my
hookup,
time.
right?
That was after my time.
No,
I did have a Plenty of Fish account back in the day.
The fuck is a Plenty of Fish?
Because Plenty of Fish in the Sea.
I know, but like,
so it was
is that like the MySpace era?
Yes, it's like it is the MySpace
It is
of
the
Tinder.
MySpace of like, because you had like OkCupid, right?
I did have OkCupid as well.
Christian Mingle?
Which
no.
When you listen to OkCupid, it sounds so lazy. It's just like, OkCupid, give me whatever. Like, it's such a give up fucking website. Like, OkCupid, what have you got for me?
Yeah.
Right, it's terrible. But all right, what you got, Eric?
Okay, so I'm up. All right, so this will be kind of 2 parts, right? So with questions around recovery. So your AA and NA. Have you worked the steps in each?
So I worked that one time up to step 9 in AA.
Okay.
The sponsor, all while in treatment, and then I had a couple more times.
How quickly did you work?
Is that like a microwave step?
Oh, like pretty quickly, but to be fair, I had a lot of free time.
Yeah.
We know, of course. And you guys work it differently in AA where you're actually like working it out of the basic text. Like I've seen how people do it. Like were you doing it that way or big book, sorry. Were you doing it through the big book or were you doing it through like another method?
Yeah, so we would read the big book. There was some writing for the first few steps. Just he had me make a couple lists, I think, of like ways my life was unmanageable or something. And then the 4th step, like it was writing a 4th step. Like that. Yeah, that shit was
pretty much the same.
Extensive. My NA 4th step, I think, is more thorough. Partially to do with the fact that I'm like more committed now than I was then.
Which way did you work it in NA? Step working guide or the booklet?
Step working guide.
Okay. So like, what is the comparison for you? Like I don't want to sound like an asshole, but there is a let's just say there's a difference in the demographics of NA and AA, right? And like
for sure.
The classism that does like seriously, dude. Like I know I sound like an asshole, but I don't know. You're from Montgomery County, right? Like there's certain times where things are just like and David's like hating me right now.
No, I'm not.
Like
No. No, I totally know exactly what you're saying. Like
AA sees themselves as like upper class, I guess, compared to like the NA community.
Yeah, and NA is very much the gutter dwellers, and we're the NA is the blue collar of recovery, and AA is closer like the white collar. That's the white collar.
And you see it now with people our age, David, like where people who are in their mid 30s, like 40, like they're starting to go to AA.
Yeah, they transition.
They're like, I don't want this horse shit that's happening in NA, because like sometimes, let's be honest, it's a fucking dumpster fire.
It can be.
Like
sometimes.
You know, people can get in fights. That's any
recovery.
But yeah, it could happen in AA or anything.
I mean,
too.
I'd really like this is my personal experience.
Yeah.
Has been just so completely different, and I hear that a lot of times. Like in NA meetings when people are talking about AA, or in AA meetings when people are talking about NA, and it's just like weird. And I'm sure that that demographic and that divide exists.
It's an old rivalry,
right?
Sort of.
Well, the alcoholic is weird,
which is ridiculous.
Having been like through both of them, like my AA sponsor and me talked about drugs, and he was a drug addict more than he drank.
Yeah.
David's grand sponsor is a AA person. Like,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Hoppy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like I never felt unwelcome
No.
in the AA meetings, and nor did I feel
it's
any
changed
sort
a
of
lot. Yeah.
right
But why did you change though? Right? Like you
proximity.
Proximity.
Really? So it wasn't like language. Like it wasn't like the book like is written. You know.
Well, is Beltsville more? Are there more AA meetings down there?
It's
than
mainly
NA?
that the people that would pick us up and take us to meetings were NA people.
Yeah, because I know at Mark it's a lot of AA meetings.
Right.
Like you probably went to the Hatchery quite a bit.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I hated everyone.
Fuck it.
Dude, right? Is that the yoga pants meeting?
Oh, the Snatchery? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
You never been there, dude? It is a huge meeting. Like you're gonna go there and there's like 100 people.
Have you been to what the fuck is it called in Rockville in the government building?
Oh,
Okay.
Where they wear suits?
yes.
That shit is
I've heard of that.
nuts.
So
Yeah.
I have to ask, since you're in Montgomery County, my wife grew up in Olney, right? And like Brooksville.
OnlyFans?
Not OnlyFans, but that's amazing.
Oh my god, that should
Oh
be
my god, I have not thought of that.
OnlyFans. That's
That
great.
Sucks for their high school, probably. Oh wow.
We're OnlyFans.
Yeah.
One more time. Enunciate that.
Yeah. Like so. Okay, but like Montgomery County, the meeting like the way it works is so weird because you're split in the county, right? For NA, like half of them are like in like the Gaithers or Germantown, like Damascus, and then the other half are like all the way on the other side of the county. Like, how does that work? Because I've looked at your map. Maybe it's changed. Like, it's been like 10 years, but I remember it was really fucking weird how like the meetings were spread out.
Mainly when I was going to Montgomery County meetings, I lived in Gaithersburg.
Okay.
Okay,
So I
so
went
you
to
were just hitting the
Gaithersburg.
Gaithersburg meetings where there's probably like a lot of meetings in Gaithersburg.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, I basically I just started doing NA because that's where the people in the network there were going.
And up here in Catonsville, it's dominated by NA.
Right. And,
Like because we're right outside of Baltimore, and Baltimore is very heavy NA.
right.
Like we're very saturated, and blessed in this area. Like I don't know if you knew this. So Baltimore is the heroin capital of the United States. But did you also know that we are the NA capital of the United States?
Fuck
we
yeah.
have more NA meetings per hour
Yeah.
in this vicinity than anywhere in the country.
Our book is huge.
yeah.
Our book is huge for not a big area, but dude, like, but
Someone
it
needs to
makes
do an
sense
audit of
where
that shit,
where the addiction is strong, the recovery
Right.
has to be equally as strong.
Right.
So that's really awesome. So anybody who's trying to get clean, come to Baltimore.
Seattle's like another example.
Wait a second.
Wait.
Like,
Wait.
No, yes, come to Baltimore. Come to
Okay,
Baltimore.
sure,
We
yeah.
we have stuff for
We
you.
love you.
All right, we are going to switch to spirituality / religion because I know you are a good Jewish boy. Were you bar mitzvahed?
I was bar mitzvah.
You are bar
hell
mitzvahed.
yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
So you were raised. Are you still practicing?
No.
Okay. So you're raised Jewish. How has that?
What was your theme first?
What do
For
you
your
mean? What was
mitzvah.
your- Oh,
Theme?
Yeah.
did you have like a big bar mitzvah? Was it dope?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
like
know.
did you have
Bar
a
mitzvahs
theme?
are so
like
good.
I used
It was
to film
actually
them,
music
you know?
themed. That's hilarious.
Okay.
Like, so did you guys have like a dance? You had like the dance people like who like all went on the floor and it was
Dude,
like,
it was if I could go back, I would take all the money that was spent on that party and deposit it in an account for me to use right now.
I know, right?
dude,
Right.
mitzvahs are like weddings, but like
But
you know,
so
for
dope.
13-year-olds.
Dude, Christians, like we don't do shit like that.
Yeah, what's a
Right.
Like we
communion,
do
right?
not have like a 13. It's 13,
I hear
right?
quinceañeras are dope though. Well, 12 for
Quinceañera
bat.
sounds fun.
Oh, I've never been to a quinceañera, but oh god,
Because a
Probably
bat
better
mitzvah,
food there.
A bat mitzvah's
Probably.
12,
Yeah.
right? Eli?
Dude, Jewish food's good, fantastic.
12 and
Latkes are amazing.
What?
Latkes,
Latkes are amazing.
they're amazing. They're delicious. But Manischewitz is trash.
Yeah, dude.
That is trash
That shit
wine.
is garbage.
I've gotten drunk off Manischewitz and it is horrible.
I mean, it did the job, and that was all.
yeah, but then you just throw up purple and it's horrible.
Dude.
Ugh, gross. So anyway, you're raised, you're mitzvahed. That is your projected.
They did the snip.
Oh yeah. Yep. Your bris and all that good
Yep.
shit.
I don't like filming those.
10th birthday.
You have filmed a bris?
Yeah.
Ugh,
do you
that
mean?
we'll talk about that later.
Dude, I've like seen like birthing videos for like montages for doing like bat mitzvahs or bar mitzvahs where it's like, oh my god, like, you know, it's like, why are you sharing this with me? Like, why? This isn't going to you know? Why did you include it?
That is so much right now. I don't.
It was
want to get
before I had a kid, dude. Like years before. I was like, ah.
That's horrendous. Anyway, so you're raised Jewish. How is your spirituality and religion, like, how is that life transferred in recovery, and like where are you at now?
So after my bar mitzvah, I no longer practiced.
Can you speak Hebrew?
At one point, I could read it.
Okay.
But I didn't know what I was saying, but I knew what the sounds were.
Okay.
And I actually like petitioned because I had to go to Hebrew school. I like petitioned for like a functional Hebrew class. So I was like, we're learning all this shit, but I can't actually talk to anyone. I can just like read this like book and not know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm learning French, and I've reached to a point where I'm like, unless I'm conversational with people around me, I'm not gonna advance any further.
You just gotta move there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I do remember the one phrase I learned was, I'm sure I'm gonna butcher this.
Okay.
Ani gar bekufsa, which was like, I live in a box. Ani is like me, like I, and then gar was like live, and then
Is it a
bekufsa
nice
is like in a box.
Like,
Okay.
is the cardboard like, you know, strong? Like, you're not worn down yet?
I think it's like an Alice in Chains metaphorical box. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, keep going. We're like you're.
Oh yeah, and then never really. Even when I was doing the AA, when I was doing the AA steps the first time, it was, I wasn't really exploring spirituality the way I am now, but it was my first introduction really to like, the way that he put it was like, let's live as if there is a God and see what happens.
Okay.
And I did that, and like I got some good results.
Was it still like Jehovah in your mind's eye?
No, I mean, really, I never have associated like that cultish religion stuff with any of the 12-step programs.
Good.
Like, it's been a whole new thing for me. A whole new, like, it's actually so far away from Judaism in my mind. My experience with Judaism.
Like,
Yeah.
What was your experience? Like, because I know, like, with Judaism, even in the Montgomery County area, like, I did a lot of mitzvahs in, like, Baltimore and, like, Montgomery and Northern Virginia. And I know, like, they're starting to, like, almost assimilate to, like, the Catholic, like, structure of, like, scheduling.
Well, like
in some of those areas, like, when they do their worship times. Like, how was it more like for like almost relationships and networking purposes, like going to, like kind of doing Judaism or whatever you call going to religious places, but
Going to temple.
Yeah, temple or whatever,
synagogue
or
He is a completely like he is a trash goblin of religion. He has nothing. He has nothing.
They worry I would catch flame if I go into a church, so I got to turn in the basement. But
that's good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Oh fuck, that derailed me. But like, I don't know, man. That derailed me. Fuck. Like, what was your experience with Judaism, right? Like, because I know, like, my friend's experience with, like, Christianity and Catholicism and, like...
Dude, Old Testament God weird. Dude, that guy is fierce.
Well, but some Judaism
He'll rain sulfur on your ass. Old Testament God is dope.
But some Judaism's super chill. Like, you guys are way more fucking chill than, like, Catholics and shit.
Yes.
It was a Reform synagogue. It was super chill.
So you're not Orthodox or
anything.
anything.
Got, like, super chill.
No, I ate bacon. Like, on a regular... I love bacon.
Bacon's great.
Bacon is amazing. Yeah. And, like... we never went to services besides some holidays, and it was just really, it was all for the bar mitzvah.
So wait, what's the Christmas Easter version of Judaism?
Hanukkah.
Is that Hanukkah?
Yeah,
is it just Hanukkah or is it Rosh Hashanah?
No,
I mean, we did our
Yom Kippur just happened.
Yom Kippur as well.
We did our Americanized consumer holiday as Hanukkah.
Are both your parents Jewish?
My mom converted before I was born.
Wait, you don't celebrate Christmas out of just like being a good American?
No, Hanukkah was our Christmas. I mean, it was the same, religion is whatever. We're going to buy a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I do think
Americanized.
I want to like start pushing Christmas as a capitalistic holiday.
It is. You don't have to push that.
Yeah, no,
I want to take religion.
Push that.
It's religion. Just rip it down. Everyone just, let's just boost the economy, right? That's the whole point of Christmas.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Just remove the veil of religion.
Yeah, remove
okay.
it
Right,
completely.
yeah.
Just be like, hey guys, let's
Like,
get everybody out of the red right
We're
now.
just gonna kick Jesus
All right.
all the way the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
Like, just go
Prime
buy
Day,
shit.
Cyber Monday, Black Friday. We're opening the fucking mall at 5:00 on Thanksgiving. Fuck these people.
Well, it's a stolen pagan holiday anyway.
They all are.
Yeah, they all are. Well, not the Jewish.
Oh, jeez.
So you've explored your own thing, and what's your concept of a higher power, man?
I mean, it's all just seeking. I mean, I don't have a, defined concept, really at all. So when I worked my third step, I looked into a bunch of religions, just to
Do your homework.
do my own research, see what was going on there, and
What have you read? Like which ones have you read?
I mean, I mostly I would listen to YouTube videos, which is where I get a lot of my information.
Read some books, dude.
No.
Well, you're an audio.
I mean, I'm an
listener.
audiobook
Yeah,
guy,
dude.
and so I listened to some audiobooks, and I mean, I didn't really get excited about any of the religion things. Basically, what I got was
I got some good audiobooks for you. We'll talk about that after.
yeah. I mean, it was what I took away from it was human beings have been involved in this,
Spiritual
journey from the dawn of us, and it continues. And I think in specifically the society that I live in at this point in time, that's been really pushed to the wayside in the name of said capitalism and modern medicine, and the pill pushing stuff, and I think I don't know if you've read The Untethered Soul.
No, but I want to.
It's really
I've
good.
heard it's fantastic.
It explores consciousness and the fact that the separation of consciousness from the physical body and the physical experience, and the fact that I'm not really my body or my thoughts. I'm the observer of those things.
Yeah.
And I have this I'm a spiritual being that exists.
You're a spiritual being having a human experience.
Exactly.
Yep.
Your energy before and after, man.
Right.
All right. Love it. What you got, Eric?
Am I up?
Yep.
Right.
You are up.
Spirituality, man. Let's see here. So, you mentioned stealing a lot.
Ooh.
But you didn't mention it when, the manifestation thing. And, I wasn't a big stealer, but I know, obviously, a lot of people are. I get the rush of it. I get the whole, I'm going to steal this. And then I'd, steal something. I'd be like, I don't even use this. Why'd I steal it? This is stupid. But, was
I
it
stole
for the
something.
rush?
I stole something recently.
Really?
Yeah, out of anger.
Was it they weren't helping you?
Yeah. So I went. Sorry. I called my sponsor. I talked about.
No, it's
this.
okay. Talk about it. Sure.
I'm
Share
gonna
yourself,
incriminate
buddy.
myself real quick. So
Okay.
I a couple weeks ago, my tire was flat and I broke my fucking lug wrench while trying to change my tire.
I
So
hate that shit.
I had a torque gun, but I didn't have the long
You have a torque gun?
hex bolts. Yeah. So I didn't have the long hex bolts to get off the lug nuts. So I went to Advanced Auto and I bought this. And they only came in packs, not the fucking just the size I needed.
right.
So I had to buy this $50 fucking pack. And I was like, will these fit on a 1/2-inch torque gun? And they're like, yeah, they should. Fucking idiot retail guys. And I was like, okay, cool. So I go out and I brought my torque gun with me. I took out one of the things and I tried to put it on my torque gun. I was like, these motherfuckers. So now I had to go buy the converter.
The adapter.
The adapter. And I just went in and the only adapters they had were in other packs of fucking, and I was like, these motherfuckers. So I just ripped the package open, stole the adapter, put it in my pocket, and fucking left. And I was like, you fucking pricks. And I was just so angry at that point. Because I'd broken a lug wrench, I'd done a whole bunch of shit.
I hate that when you're changing a tire and like you break the wrench.
Oh god, it was infuriating.
Especially if it's one of those fucking wrenches that like it's the specialized bolt. I did that once in Chicago.
Dude, it was like, first thing in the morning, and I was just infuriated. And then these fucking idiots at the auto store just completely douched me, and they were trying to get another $20 out of me. I was like, not today, fuck faces. And
Auto douched.
yeah, I got auto douched, and so yeah, I stole a $20 adapter for a impact wrench. Sorry, I'm not perfect. Anyway, so Eric, yeah, manifestation, stealing.
Yeah, man, what's up with that? How you doing?
I mean, that's a great example.
Yeah.
I really haven't stolen anything
Good.
in a little while. When I first got to Nick's place, I really wanted to buy a guitar, and my dad gave me a Home Depot credit card to get the tools for work when I first started.
Oh, okay.
It had like a $500 credit limit or something just to get like a fucking pair of linemen's and like a bag to put that shit in and like a couple wrenches and stuff. And so I still had it, and I tried to go to Home Depot and buy $400 Visa gift cards with this Home Depot credit card. And I don't know if you've ever tried to buy Visa gift cards on a credit card, but that's sus as fuck.
Visa gift cards suck, dude. Like, they're not as bad as American Express. Those are the worst gift cards. But Visa, like, it has to be the exact amount, or you can't, like, once you use it. Do you remember running those up in retail back in the day? They're fucking annoying.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you're buying these
They
to try and get cash for the guitar.
Yeah.
Or, well, not cash.
To just put, and they just called my dad, and then he called me, and he's like, what are you doing, bro? And like, I mean, that's not what he said. He doesn't talk like that. But
yeah.
Cool if he did, though.
And he was like,
Elijah, I'm getting these calls about
what's up, bro?
Yeah.
damn the trauma.
We have dad voice now, so now we know.
Yeah. And I like felt like shit.
Yeah.
I'd already stolen like the $2,000 from previous, like I'd been a fucking thief, and then here I was, 90 days clean doing the same fucking shit. And I felt really, really bad about it. So like the card got, like, I shredded it. I think they canceled it anyways. And then since then it was less for a little bit. Like I would go into for the IT work that I do, we're in like telecom rooms a lot, and they have just like spare parts for shit. And I remember seeing this like capacitor.
Okay.
I have no need for a capacitor.
No.
I would never use it.
Nope.
I had to look up what it was.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm gonna take this. And then I told my coworker, I was like, hey, like, I should take this capacitor. And he's like, no, bro, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you even like, and since then, like, I've put in a lot of effort to like not steal stuff. Good. Like very purposefully pay for all this stuff. Because I don't want to do that shit again.
Yeah. All right. Your favorite step that you've worked so far?
3.
Yes. Good answer.
Absolutely
Fantastic answer.
3.
Why?
So much practical spirituality exists in the 3. And so much, like, it was such a turning point for me coming from 1.
That's my favorite as well.
Right. Like 1 is just like, yeah, like I'm literally fucked. And then 2 is like, well, maybe I could not be fucked. And then 3 is like, there's just so much practical application of how to unfuck yourself.
Yep. Yep. That's actually a great book, by the way, Unfuck Yourself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's actually a book called Unfuck Yourself.
That sounds awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
The third step prayer is the best prayer, by the way.
We do that. We do that at my home group. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the best.
Dude, at my home group,
his
too.
favorite is 10, which is still it's a great fucking step because it's very similar to the third, because it's just like the
remaining conscious.
Yeah, I think they're hand in hand because 10, you're like it's the active inventory and just constantly being vigilant. So as soon as something comes up, you address it instantly and you make your amends. Blah 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 blah. Whatever.
Best that you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, like 3 for me was amazing, and Herb broke it down in such an amazing way. He was like, okay, well, make me a list of all the aspects of what you think your higher power's will is. Right. Like generosity, honesty, blah, 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 compassion, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, okay. And the way you turn your will over is just do those things.
Right.
And I was like, that's it? And he was like, yeah, because you want to be dishonest and greedy and shitty and uncompassionate. So the way you live in your quote unquote higher power's will is you live those spiritual principles. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're just honest. You don't steal. Like you do all the fucking easy things. And like that's what I love about Herb is, well, first of all, he'll insult you in the sweetest way ever, which is great. And like he'll totally half the sentences he ever says to you are like, all right, don't take offense to this, but and then
that's a skill, dude. Being able to confront someone in a way that they
Herb is so good at
information.
Herb is so good at it. Yeah.
I need to get him back on, dude.
I know. Herb is spectacular.
I haven't chatted with him since I think your anniversary.
Do you have any more, or can I ask my last question?
I do have 2 more still, actually.
Okay, ask yours, and then I'm gonna ask my last one.
You're not gonna take that one, so I'll ask the one about your congenital TTP.
Oh, okay.
So,
sure.
Like,
I'm sure he has a webpage on it.
Yeah,
on screen right now.
That's fine.
Yeah. Right now, I'm like reading about like the differences in like how it affects people at different ages and like different organizations within the United States and Canada, where you can find helpful information about advocation and support groups towards patient organizations. And
what's your fucking question, dude? Get your fucking question.
Sorry, just getting like
I don't need your
PSA
wiki fucking.
So like fewer than 1,000 people have this disease, and something that I talked to David about this a few months ago, and we're starting to like kind of revamp our website. And one thing we're including now, like, because it is something that I know I suffer from, like other people we've had suffer from, is like physical like illnesses and maladies and diseases that like change your life in such a fucking like foundational way, right? Like.
But there's a recovery process
there
to
is,
it.
Yeah, or like a relearning, right? Like, and mine are like, chronic pain and like IBS, like, it's totally different than this, like nerve damage, like my wife's are like, autoimmune. Like David, your wife has like autoimmune.
Yep.
Like a lot of like women have that, like, Kim's autoimmune. Like,
fibromyalgia.
So like, and like, yeah, it's just, I mean, this is like, I think of like people with like Lyme disease, right? Like how fucking awful that is. Like how is coming to terms with this? Like, cause this is different than drugs. This is different than like fucking mental health. This is like fucking your physical health.
Yeah, but it's mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like how do you remain vigilant in that? Cause I can see that being a very depressing, like I get depressed about my stuff, right? Like.
Yeah, I mean.
That's a fantastic question.
A lot of the feelings I have about it manifest as anxiety that I picked up from my parents.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
And, their worries. They're worried about this thing that has to do with me. So what am I, like, that's how I learned to react to. So, I mean, if we're talking about, like, the
good thing is you don't know any other way. This is the way it's always been.
Right. It's been that, and it was like, yeah, like, I get to leave school early, one day every 2 weeks. Like, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
you're different, right? Like you had to leave school early. Like you missed out on whatever that maybe thing was after school with your friends, like, because you had to do this thing.
Right.
which made you like very unique. Like less than 1,000 people. Like that's just such a small shared experience.
Makes you a special snowflake.
I'm a special snowflake.
Yeah, you're a fucking snowflake, dude. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, you snowflake.
Yeah.
Fragile fucks.
Are we snowflakes? I think we're snowflakes too, though.
Oh, well, that's after the podcast. We'll talk
You guys
about that.
millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This podcast is over.
We're like elder
No, we're
millennials.
middle millennials.
Huh?
We're middle millennials.
Not really, dude, because millennial starts like what, 82?
We're 87 and 88.
You guys look great for 87.
Thank you. I work out.
I eat a lot of kale.
David, we're literally in the middle. So 1981 to 1996 is the generational cutoff.
Okay. So we're still we're elder millennials though, because kids who were born in 96 don't know shit.
Gen X is kind
those
of
guys.
like
Fuck those.
Gen X is a little weird in some areas.
My little
too.
sister's born in 92. She don't know shit.
Right.
Fucking moron. No, I'm kidding. I love her. She's amazing. So yeah, taking care of your body. Like, how important is that, man?
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know any other way. Like, most of the time my body's like I haven't had any major differences that I can tell from other people. You know, like as long as I get these infusions, like my body has seemed to act the same as if my body was producing, you know, this enzyme.
What's your risk long term? Like, are you gonna is it gonna be like a healthy life, or is there any adverse? Well, I don't know. Like,
yeah, with 1,000 people.
Yeah, their data is probably limited.
Yeah, it's limited. So
when it
I
says
mean,
it's a genetic mutation, do they know? Like,
Yeah.
are they using any of
shit power,
stem
dude.
cells?
You know, the worst power. What's your superpower? I don't break down clots.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. So you're like an unbreakable.
So how is
character.
this helpful? Oh, it's not.
Basically, if I don't get I'm gonna have a stroke and die.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Call me Stroke Man. The Stroke.
The stroke.
Stroke.
Oh my god. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
That was congenital TTP and your physical malady, and how, like, I guess you've been living with this your whole life, so you don't know any other way.
Right.
But,
It
know, like,
is.
just thinking of like other things that it's just part of your life. Like that's kind of you have to do it.
Yeah. I mean, and so the physical symptoms, if there are any, really are nothing compared to the mental of the whole thing. I mean, the not knowing like what the fuck that means. Like, I'm kind of I'm not a crazy hypochondriac, but like a lot of physical pain will give me an anxiety attack on top of like the physical
How
pain.
did COVID affect you? Yeah, man. Like, if you
He actually just
this
recently
rare
had COVID.
disease,
I
like,
did. I just got over COVID.
That has to be
And
fucking terrifying.
I mean, yeah, so once again, like anxiety, because COVID affects like your blood too, I guess, and like all sorts of shit. But I had COVID twice, and I was fine. There is an extra layer of worry, I guess, on top of like my physical health. I've always been extremely like cautious physically. I've never broken any bones. Like, I'm not. And I think that's kind of part of the anxiety about my physical.
So you are cautious, like you are very cautious.
Yeah, I mean, I was. I'm actually. It's funny because I'm kind of growing out of that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And
Just develop a Superman complex and go from there.
right, yeah.
All right, my final question is, therapy in recovery, and how important is it? How has it changed? Because you went to a therapist during addiction too, correct? So how has it changed, and how important is it to your recovery?
So going to therapy in active addiction was just a joke. Just like psychiatric help during active addiction was a joke. Like, there's no way, if you just lie to your therapist and your psychiatrist, and you're always putting other shit in your body, like
Did you
the
lie
information
to them?
isn't there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Lied to everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
huh. I never
Yeah.
lied to my therapist about drug use.
But you like drug counselors, anything. Like,
I mean, it wasn't just about drug use. Like I lied about a bunch of shit.
Well, yeah,
I'm just a
yeah.
liar. Just
Yeah.
a dishonest person.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Or I would just omit shit. Like I
Right.
just wouldn't talk about it. So
Right.
like, how important is it like keeping track of your mental health and everything for your recovery?
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm in recovery, like I've been honest with my therapist for like the last 2 years. I think really a lot of the benefit came after like we really developed a relationship therapeutically, and like I know this person and they know me. So there's kind of like a build up period.
Yeah.
I'd say I could do. I'm gonna keep going to therapy, but I could do without therapy if I still have NA and the 12 steps. Just therapy and not NA and the 12 steps, and I would be fucked. Mm-hmm. It's a good addition. I try not to, obviously, because it's about like my life. Like they overlap a little bit, but I do try and keep them. Like NA is a spiritual program without any professional anything, and like this is professional help pertaining to issues in my life. Yeah, and I go regularly, and there's been a couple breakthroughs that have been worth it and really important.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any more questions, Eric?
I have one final question.
Final question.
Because you are the Euphoria generation, and I'm fascinated.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking of you guys as, like, because Euphoria came out.
The fuck is Euphoria?
What?
It's a TV show with Zendaya.
Yeah.
Oh.
I haven't seen it. But
It's about, like,
Zendaya's hot.
crazy drug use. She is really hot.
Oh god, jeez. Yeah.
But it's like,
Tom Holland, you lucky bastard.
but it's like, kind of just imagine, like, David, kind of like 2005 or 2006 for us, and kind of that, like, grody, like, city, like, kind of like drug use life of like going to like, Station North, Mount Vernon, but this is like set now. So instead of doing like cocaine and pills and like drinking, they're doing whatever the fuck the drugs are they're doing now.
Yeah.
So like something the risk is so different than when we used. And like there was risk, dude. Like heroin was scary. Coke was scary sometimes. Like,
but fentanyl was really not a thing.
not until the riots, right, in Baltimore, and of course, it like kind of it stemmed from here. But like you guys have this like terrifying, risk, and like most people aren't gonna take the time to get reagent kits and like do the proper testing on this stuff, right?
No,
they want
fuck
to get
no.
high. And like you guys have the pressed pills. Like I've had so many people I've known, like,
Yeah, that was
where it's like, oh, they bought like they bought Perk 30s, fentanyl, they died, or
Right.
cocaine, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like they just, it's like kind of sad. Like there's a lot of like there's like stuff that really upsets me from just like a like regulation perspective on that. But how do you guys? I mean, we've had a lot of people die, right? And we've talked about death on this show, like where once death doesn't hit the same way it used to for most people, which is sad, but you kind of get a little bit used to it. Like, how is that for you guys? Like, you guys are in like your early 20s, like late teens, and just any pill you buy is
It's Russian
I don't know
roulette.
what the fuck is in it.
Yeah, totally Russian roulette.
That's like terrifying. Like I knew like there's cocaine and probably some like vitamin C and baby powder, but like I knew that was in there, right?
Yeah.
Like they're cutting it with
I'm going to
something.
snort this line and then shit my pants.
Yeah. Like there might be
Because they would
laxative,
put baby laxative in that
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
but like you guys were like, oh shit, there's fentanyl. Like,
Which is so
those are-
fucked up. We're like, let's put some baby laxative in this one. Fuck you, assholes. But yeah.
At least they didn't put full adult laxative in there.
Oh, God. Yeah, could you at least put some like vitamins in there? Like, can I get some Metamucil in my cocaine? But yeah, is the heightened danger of the streets, like, how does that play into like?
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm
The
using
mindset of staying away from relapse, yeah.
I mean, yeah, when I'm using it's just it doesn't matter. Like I'm trying to die anyways. Now, I mean, I equate relapsing to dying at this point. It has been for like most of at least this like last 2 years that I've stayed clean. Like if I relapse, like I'm gonna die. Like
It's a good outlook.
yeah.
I mean, it's dark,
Can
but
we bring up like the one like the slip rule though, like from like Celebrate and like from those fellow, because like I like my one worry there, man, like with that mentality, because I get it, like you know, like what's the saying, like we're whatever, you're gonna stay here forever, but that fucking intensity of like, if I'm gonna use, I'm just gonna fucking use, and I'm gonna do the fucking biggest like fucking shot of dope I possibly can, and then like people die from that, right? Like it's always like terrifying, when people they put all of that like into that one relapse. I don't know. It's something I've noticed a lot with like NA, maybe in AA too. But you know what I mean, David? Like kind of with that.
yeah, like I see where you're going. Like because there's so much shame and stigma on the relapse that they're like, well, fuck it. If I did one, I might as well do 100, or I might as well just do the biggest one that I can.
I feel like our friend Matt was like that, right? Like he was
oh yeah,
I'm just gonna do what I did before I did it.
In like other fellowships, they have like downplayed the idea of a relapse or augmented it, because they've added in the idea of a slip. Like if you went out, suggesting like you went out and used for one night and then just came right back, they'd be like, okay, well, it's a slip. You don't change your clean date or whatever like that.
It's a softer landing pad too, right? Like you're not going to beat yourself up.
It's weird. It's just
I mean, it's an interesting question, right? Like, should we get into categorizing relapse and the science, or like, the ideas behind what happens when you relapse and how that goes on, and how do we talk about that, in a recovery setting? I mean, personally, like I'm not trying to fucking relapse at all.
Yes.
And I don't want to get into like, I feel like putting effort into like, yeah, well, if I relapse, then I should do it this way is just like, why?
Exactly.
That's like
it's a very slippery slope.
Doing it this way. It's the thought process around what happens when someone does relapse. It's not just your relapse. It's anyone's relapse.
Yeah.
Because like this is the same stuff that gets people killed. And it's the same stuff with like what do you call it? Like Suboxone and shit. Because they're like, they just put so much expectation on that last high. And they're like, if I'm going to use, I'm just going to use as hard as I can. And just a lot of people go out that way. It sucks.
I mean, either way, I don't think we're going to save anybody's life by like
quantifying
a relapse. Yeah. Like really the most help that I think I can do is like try and just, Well,
not quantifying it, just like allowing people to make mistakes. And like, a softer pad for people sometimes when they need it. Like some people do need like, take the cotton like out of your ears and put it in your mouth, like sort of shit. But like some people need the softer approach.
Yeah. I mean, I think the shame and stigma of a relapse needs to go away because it's what we do. Like,
right.
Like
that's why we're here.
Being like when people are like super shocked about somebody relapsing, I'm like, that's what we do,
right?
Like we're like you're a plumber, you're gonna plumb, like you're gonna fix pipes, like you're a drug addict, your normal is using drugs. So
right.
I mean, yeah, I like. Well, like one of the biggest things like I've ever is really releasing the I don't know, the social status of clean time, because that can be a thing in recovery. It's like, I have this, so trying to remove that. And I can't remember who we talked to about that on our show. There's been fucking hundreds. There's so fucking many. But yeah, he was like really getting past that like social status of recovery, and I have this much clean time and this like that, and it's just like it's more important to just have it just becoming a new normal than
Right.
anything else.
But I mean, we're kind of talking about like personalities here, right? Like, like the program. Nowhere in the literature does it say when you have this much clean time, you're better than this other person.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, so if somebody feels that way, right, that's their own ego, in which case that's their program, and like I'm just taking their inventory. Like, and there's nothing I can say to change what they're gonna think about it either, right? The best I can do is if someone relapses, fucking love them, dude, and say, dude, I'm so glad you're back. I'm really grateful you didn't die. Like, let's hit a meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Eli, you didn't hear my wonderful, diatribe into the hierarchy of chair structure.
Oh God, we'll talk about that after. Let's wrap this puppy up.
That's the third tradition, I think.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Well, we're out of questions, but we would love to thank you for joining us today, bro.
Woo! Thank you guys. Absolutely.
One quick minute. Talk to anybody out there struggling, needs to hear that message of hope. What do you have to say directly to them?
Keep coming back. I love you. I don't know who you are, but you're probably pretty fucking awesome and really attractive and really good at stuff. And
Whoa, coming on strong there,
love
buddy.
to see you at a meeting.
Yeah. All right. Love it. All right. Here at Podcast Recovery, we're aiming to expand the scope of support for recovering addicts. Accessibility and convenience of helpful services is paramount to combating addiction. We work to bring the message of recovery to every addict wherever and whenever it is needed. We believe that a powerful voice of recovery should be obtainable, practical, and at the touch of a button. Every addict deserves to hear a message of hope, and Podcast Recovery is here to provide it. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us once again. Go to all our social media outlets, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Like, share, subscribe. Please help us keep the mics on by joining our Patreon, and becoming part of the Podcast Recovery family. But most importantly, everybody out there, Eric, if you'll help me.
Stay safe and stay clean.